Namaste, Assalamu alaikum. I'm going to start with that verse of the Quran. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ومن آياته خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف ألسنتكم وألوانكم إن في ذلك لآيات للعالمين. And among his signs is the creation of the heavens and the earth, and the diversity of your languages and your colors. Indeed, and that are signs for those of knowledge. Assalamu alaikum, good morning, and namaste. Firstly, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to Sadhguru Shri Madhusudan Sai. Distinguished guests, brothers and sisters, dear student, I'm so humbled, I'm so happy for giving me the opportunity to speak to all of you today. It is a blessing to gather in this sacred place, united by our pursuit of goodness, understanding, and service. For me, standing here is both a joy and a reflection upon a journey that had shaped every step I take. I come before you as a Muslim woman, an Egyptian, who received her early education in a Catholic French school. Of course, that's a weird combination. You don't see it every day. So, this French school, I did learn a lot. There, I was immersed in the principle of liberté, égalité, et fraternité. That means liberty, equality, and fraternity values that were not simply written on the walls, but were lived each day. They instilled in me a deep sense of openness and the understanding that humanity, regardless of faith or background, shares a common dignity. It was also in that environment that I discovered the works of some of the writers that did impact me, like Mustafa Mahmoud, Anis Mansour, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, Voltaire, and other philosophers, whose ideas taught me curiosity, reflection, and a respect for multiple perspectives. Those lessons nurtured an early understanding that openness is not just a virtue, it is a way to connect hearts across differences. At home, my family emphasized the importance of education above all else, and I know you too do the same. So believing that completing college was a foundation that could never be replaced by early work. But guess what? I chose to work at age 17, which was uncommon for my family. Why did I choose to work at 17? Because I wanted to balance responsibility with learning, a practice that shaped my perseverance and discipline. By the age of 11, I began my first encounter with community service. It was guided by Catholic nuns. At the same time, the teaching of Islam encouraged me to give, to care, and to serve. These early experiences planted seeds of compassion and service that continue to grow in my life to that day. So this tells you that you can seed something when a child is too little and it's going to continue to grow. Now we're going to be talking about turning challenges into service. It was not easy to start the service. Life, as we know, has its tests. 14 years ago, I faced a profound loss, the passing of my husband. He left me with 4 children, ages at the time 7, 6, 4, and 3, in a foreign country because I live now in the United States. I didn't have any family. In that moment, I could have retreated, focused solely on my grief, and closed my world to others. But instead, I chose to open my heart. I saw in that experience an invitation to understand the orphan, the struggling, the needy, to serve even when personal circumstances were challenging. The Quran guided me in this path. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. وَيُطْعِمُونَ الطَّعَامَ عَلَى حُبِّهِ مِسْكِينًا وَيَتِيمًا وَأَسِيرًا إِنَّمَا نُطْعِمُكُمْ لِوَجْهِ اللَّهِ لَا نُرِيدُ مِنكُمْ جَزَاءً وَلَا شُكُورًا. And they give food in spite of love for it to the needy, the orphan, and the captive. We feed you only for the countenance of Allah. We wish not from you reward or gratitude. The teaching became a compass. It reminded me that true service comes not from what we gain, but from the love, care, and dedication we pour into others' lives. In my professional life, I am a nurse practitioner with independent licensing, so I do the same work as a doctor. I provide integrative, holistic care. I follow the World Health Organization definition of health, but I add to it. Health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. I will add to it that health is a state complete physical, mental, social, psychological, and spiritual. I treat not only the body, but the mind and spirit. Each patient is a whole being, deserving care, attention, and compassion. I am also a university professor. I guide students not only in knowledge, but in ethics, empathy, and responsibility. I encourage them to see their careers not merely as a job, but as opportunities to transform lives through service. I feel like this is going to be my legacy that stays beyond my earthly life. In the community, I extended those principles into interfaith action. So I live in Largo, but I go to a mosque in Dunedin. So in Dunedin, Florida, we established a partnership of peace among different faiths. Each year, hundreds of us walk together for peace. We host dinners at the mosque where Christians, Jews, Hindus, Buddhists, and seekers of all paths sit side by side. Throughout the year, we attend each other's celebrations, prayers, and events. Beyond interfaith work, I actively help new refugees settle and establish themselves, providing guidance, support, and resources to help them build a foundation for their new lives. Guess what? I also volunteer as a Sunday school teacher, where I teach the real Islam through principles of giving, service, and compassion. My goal is to show young minds that faith is lived through action, kindness, and responsibility to others. Also, I never forgot about my home country, Egypt. So I work through the Messenger of Love initiative that was started by Dr. Nawaf El-Shibli. And through this initiative, we provide clothing for children and families in need, medication, healthcare support, financial assistance for surgeries and essential medical procedures, feeding the poor and marginalized communities. Now I'm going to take you somewhere else. You know that I come from Egypt, right? My name is Hind, by the way, and in Arabic that means India. Isn't that sarcastic? So, I don't think that it was a coincidence. So I'm going to be talking about the spiritual framework through my country, through the word Egypt. E-G-Y-P-T. We're going to look at it from a different perspective. And I do have some stories for you and some questions. I have found that my life's lesson teachings from scripture and interfaith experiences can be summarized in a spiritual framework I call Egypt. And I would like to share a story for each principle. So the first letter is E. E for eternity. Egypt reminds us of eternity. Yes, its monuments stand as a symbol of humanity's longing for permanence. Yet every tradition teaches us that what truly endures is not stone or gold, but the good we leave behind. The Quran says, كل من عليها فان ويبقى وجه ربك ذو الجلال والإكرام. Everyone upon the earth will perish, but the face of your Lord, full of majesty and honor, will remain. Jesus said, do not store up treasures on earth, but store up treasures in heaven. Gita reminds us the soul is eternal. It neither dies nor is born. So story, we know Mother Teresa. Everyone knows her, right? Mother Teresa built no pyramids, yet the monument of love she left is eternal. Her hospitals and schools may crumble one day, but the love she gave lives forever in the souls she touched. So I have a question for you. What are we building that will last for eternity? Will it be a monument of stone or a monument of compassion? Good job. A monument of compassion. So I go back to eternity, and I'm going to give you something from my personal life. I once met an elderly woman in Egypt whose entire life had been dedicated to caring for abandoned children. Even in her last years, she continued to sew clothes for those in need. Her love and service created ripples that will last far beyond her lifetime. A living example of eternity in action. As a body, we're not eternal. As a soul, we are. Let's go to the next letter. So what's the next letter? G. Good job. The G for grace. Grace is the unearned gift of life and mercy that sustains us. Every faith speaks of it. My preferred and favorite part of Al-Quran, which says, قال تعالى رحمتي وسعت كل شيء. That means my mercy encompasses all things, not just humans, but animals, nature, even objects. Paul said, my grace is sufficient for you. And in Hinduism, Kripa, divine grace, which uplifts the soul. In India, grace becomes Siva, selfless service offered as worship. Grace received becomes grace given. When was the last time you recognized grace in your own life? And how did you pass it on to someone else? That's the question. So grace during a medical mission to help new refugees, people came to me for treatment. They had nothing to offer in return. In fact, I lie. They do have a lot to offer in return, but monetary-wise, I'm talking about. I remembered that grace is about giving freely with no expectation. When I treated them, I realized that the kindness we extend without asking for a reward is the purest form of grace. Next letter is Y. Yearning. Every heart carries a yearning, which is a hunger for truth, peace, and connection with the divine. The Quran says, أَلَا بِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ تَطْمَئِنُّ الْقُلُوبِ. Surely in the remembrance of Allah do hearts find rest. Jesus said, "Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness." Buddha said, "Yearning can either bind us to suffering or awaken us to freedom." What do you choose? Which one do you choose? Is it the suffer or the freedom? Freedom. Short story. I'm going to tell you the story about the potter and the clay. A young man once watched a potter shaping clay on a wheel. The clay collapsed, cracked, fell apart, but the potter never gave up. The young man asked, Why such patience? And this is for our students. The potter replied, "Because I see what it can become. It yearns to hold water, to serve. My job is to shape it." Our yearning for God is like clay in the hands of the divine. We are restless until shaped by love and service into vessels of purpose. I met a refugee mother who had crossed continents seeking safety for her children. Her yearning for a better life inspired me to mobilize resources, connect her with housing, education, and medical care. Her hope became my motivation to act, reminding me that our yearnings can be transformed into service for others. Now we're going to go to the P. Peace. Salam, Shalom, P, Shanti. It's the dream of every soul. The Quran says Allah invites to home of peace. Jesus, blessed are the peacemakers. Hindu and Buddhist prayers end with Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace for all beings. But peace is not passive. It is built through service, justice, and compassion. Now it's the story of the old man and the scorpion. Listen to that one. A wise man once saw a scorpion drowning. He reached to save it, but was stung. Again and again, he tried, and again it stung. A passerby cried, "Why help when it only harms you?" The wise man replied, "It is the scorpion's nature to sting, but it's my nature to help. Why should I let its nature change mine?" Then comes Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, and he reminds me of لا يلدغ المرء من جحر مرتين. One does not get bitten twice from the same hole. What does it mean? If you add to the good nature wisdom, we understand what peace really is. It is not weakness and passive submission. It is strength and following the soul's mission. Peace begins when we choose always to help and never to harm, even when the world stings us. Peace, what do you think? Where does peace start? Within us. That's true. And you know from where did I learn that? I learned that from my dear, beautiful, spiritual mother, Inanna Nolan. A lot of gratitude for her. And my spiritual father, Nawaf al-Shibli. And this is the greatest lesson in my life. Peace is an act of personal creation. Peace is to be in harmony with oneself. Peace is not a reaction to the outside world. It is an action and a decision within us. How many conflicts could be healed if we refuse to let another bitterness change our compassion? During an interfaith dinner in Dunedin, a disagreement arose between two groups. Instead of avoiding it, we sat together, listened, and reconciled through dialogue and understanding. The peace that emerged from that evening reminded me that true peace is cultivated through patience, empathy, and action. And now the last letter, which is, I can't hear you. Good job. So the T is for, what do you think? Transformation. Transformation is the fruit of spirituality lived in service. And again, my favorite part of the Quran, it says, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِقَوْمٍ حَتَّى يُغَيِّرُوا مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ. Allah will not change the condition of a person until they change what is in themselves. Bible said, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And Hindu Dharma said, karma, yoga, transformation through right action. As you can see, there is a lot of similarity, isn't it? The boy and the starfish. A boy walked along a beach where thousands of starfish lay stranded. He picked them one by one, throwing them back into the sea. A man said, why bother? You cannot save them all. The boy held one in his hand and said, maybe not, but for this one, I can make a difference. Make a difference, even if it was a little difference. There is nothing little, nothing is small. Transformation does not always come in grand gestures. Sometimes it happens one small act of love at a time. Whose life could you touch today, even if it seems like just one starfish in an ocean of need? A young student in my Sunday school class has struggled with prejudice toward those of other faiths. Through stories, teachings, and acts of service, I watched him transform into someone who now volunteers with refugees, feeds the poor, and actively promotes harmony with other faiths. Witnessing this transformation reminds me why service and guidance are powerful forces for change. Egypt is more than an acronym, as you can see. It's a living practice. It reminds us that spirituality is measured not by words or rituals alone, but by our actions, our care for the vulnerable, and our commitment to service. I'll share a few other stories here. During our peace walk, a child held a sign reading, "We are one family." That simple truth inspired hundreds and reminded us that unity begins in the heart. In my medical practice, a patient once said, "You healed me, not just with medicine, but with kindness." This reaffirmed that true healing encompasses body, mind, and soul. Assisting new refugees to navigate their steps in a new country has been profoundly moving. Seeing a family secure housing, enroll their children in school, and feel welcomed reminds me that small acts of guidance and care create lifelong impact. Teaching Sunday school has allowed me to inspire the next generation to practice the real Islam through giving, compassion, and service. And through definitely messengers of love in Egypt, with Ahmed also helping out. We reach thousands annually with clothing, medication, financial aids for surgery, and food for the poor, demonstrating that year-round giving is a living experience. Spirituality is not confined to one religion. In India, we know the path of service, Seva, is considered one of the highest forms of worship. And now we're going to go to Sai Baba, that we are commemorating today, the 100th anniversary. We say, love all, serve all, help ever, hurt never. Can we repeat it together? Love all, help. Love all, serve all, help ever, hurt never. Thank you. So I encourage you to walk with eternity in mind, build legacies of love, reflect grace in your interactions, let your yearning inspire acts of service, foster peace in every word and deed, be agents of transformation in your families, workplace, communities, and beyond. And now I'm gonna end with a closing of the Quran and then a poem. ومن أحياها بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ومن أحياها فكأنما أحيا الناس جميعا. Whoever saves one life, it is as if they have saved all the humanity. And then I'm gonna end by this poem. We walk through the path where hearts unite. in service pure and love's true light. No walls of creed, no chains of name, one human family, one sacred flame. The hungry fed, the weary healed. Compassion blooms, the wounds are sealed. Each hand that lifts, each smile we share becomes a prayer beyond compare. From temples, mosques, and churches near, true call of kindness draws us here. For true is vast, yet love is one, a stream that flows from the Holy One. Sai Baba taught with gentle voice, in selfless service, make your choice. Hands that help are holier still than lips that pray, a void or will of will. So side by side, our spirits blend on service's road that has no end. In unity's song, we find our part. One world, one God, one beating heart. And thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your inspiring words. May we invite Dr. K.P. Sai Leela to extend a token of our gratitude and appreciation to Dr. Hen LD. We shall now have a short 15-minute break, after which we will reconvene for Sathya Dharpan.
अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल अक्षयलिंगा आत्मलिंगा अक्षयलिंगा आत्मलिंगा तेजोमय विग्रहलिंगा तेजोमय विग्रहलिंगा इह पर सुखदायका ईशा इह पर सुखदायका इह पर सुखदायका ईशा इह पर सुखदायका इह पर सुखदायका साई इह पर सुखदायका इह पर सुखदायका साई ॐ नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः 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 अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुण शिव
Om Shri Sai Ram, offering our salutations at the feet of Sadguru. Respected elders, devotees from around the world, staff and students, Sai Ram and welcome to Sathya Dharpan. Yesterday in his discourse, Sadguru described the spiritual path as a razor's edge, where even a moment of distraction can lead to suffering. He reminded us that we are not the body or mind, but the eternal Atman. To remain anchored in this truth, he advised us to practice Yama and Niyama. While explaining the 6th chapter, he said that true spiritual progress lies in Atma Vichara, self-enquiry and living the knowledge of oneness. The realized being sees all jivas as one, free from raga and dvesha, attachment and aversion, abiding in samatva, perfect equanimity. He explained a verse from the 7th chapter, Mai anantam maham bodho jagadvichi svabhavataha udetu vastu mayatu name vridhir na chakshati. This means, I am the great infinite ocean in which the waves of the world rise and set naturally. There is neither growth nor loss for me. He said that identifying with the ocean as ourself can be a greater source of strength that can help us overcome any challenge. Sadhguru concluded that spirituality is not about ritualistic practices, but understanding the essence of it and focusing on the higher goal. We now invite Dr. B.N. Narasimhamurthy sir to address all of us.
Most adorable Sadhguru, brothers and sisters, very dear students, boys and girls. we find that the great scripture, Ashtavakra Gita, is a perfect dialogue between a perfect guru, master, and a perfect disciple or a perfect Sishya. In the 5th chapter, we found the sincere effort of the Guru, absolutely sincere effort of the Guru. He not only taught him the highest wisdom, he also wanted his worthy disciple Janaka to attain the zenith of the spiritual experience, the highest experience possible. That is why in the 5th chapter, again and again, repeatedly, he told Janaka, Ashtavakra, Guru tells Sishya, Evameva layam raja. You withdraw your identification from the body-mind complex and merge it in the self and establish yourself there. Repeatedly he tells him that. And here is Janaka, who is a perfect disciple. He has already attained that height of spiritual experience. What is there for me to merge? Akashavat anantoham, gatavat prakritam jagat. I am infinite like the space, akasha. And this world is like a pot which has arisen. Iti jnanam tataitasya natyago nagraho layaha. After having understood this, after having experienced this, what is there for me to give up? What is there for me to accept? Or what is there for me to merge? See, this is the question Janaka is asking, disciple is asking the Guru. And that is in the 6th and 7th chapters, all the 9 shlokas. This is the refrain we find. Janaka, again and again, he tells the Guru that it was already quoted by Ananda Sai, that wonderful shloka, which became the mantra of the life of Sadguru during the critical times of the COVID period. See, I am the infinite ocean of consciousness, pure consciousness. And in an ocean, it is natural that waves will arise. This world has arisen in my pure consciousness, the ocean of pure consciousness, and whether it arises or not, how is it going to add to me or deduct anything from me, reduce anything from me? This is the question he asks. He says, Vishwam Nama Parikalpana, Mayananta Mahabodhau, Vishwam Nama Parikalpana, Vikalpana. This is just an imagination or an illusion that the universe has arisen from the pure consciousness. It's a part of my consciousness. That's what again and again we find Janaka asserting his experience. Yesterday, Sadguru also made a very important point. Why teach Ashtavakra Gita, the highest wisdom, a scripture which carries highest wisdom? Even people say that why should it be taught to students? Even many people think Bhagavad Gita also should be taught only to retired people. And the average age of the audience, say 4,000 audience, is less than 25. Why is this? And Swami gave the very profound example of why did Sri Rama go to Vasishtha Ashrama. As a Shishya he went. Many years he spent there. Like our students are spending their time in the Gurukula established by Sadguru, Rama went to the Gurukula of Vasishta. And what did he teach him? He taught him the highest philosophy of Advaita. And Rama, being so pure-hearted, he absorbed the wisdom, and he got absorbed, he himself got absorbed into the self. And he didn't want to do anything else. But Dasharatha wanted him to be the next king. And as Rama came out to the body consciousness, and later on what happened in Rama's life, imagine at the age of 25, you are told that next day you are going to be the crown prince, and that early morning he is told to go to forest. At the age of 25, imagine what Sri Rama underwent between the age of 25 and 40 is something unimaginable for any young people. He had to go to the forest and fight a battle. And all that he could do because of the strength that he derived by listening to Vasishta on the highest philosophy of Advaita. Spirituality will give you the strength to face life. Spirituality will give you the mindset required to achieve success in your worldly life. See, that is why this is being, Swami made it clear. I am teaching Ashtavakra Gita to students like Vasishta taught Advaita to Sri Ramachandra. See, that is a very important point. It's going to help even by listening, and little contemplation on our part will help us great lot, not only to progress on the spiritual path, but also to lead our worldly lives in the right way. The second point that Sadguru made, ek pad aage, do padu piche. Why we so-called aspirants, we don't progress steadily towards the highest spiritual realization. We take one step forward and two steps backward. It keeps happening, and it has happened for many years, and it will happen for many decades. It will happen for whole life, and we die without realizing God. This has not to happen. The fundamental problem is our priorities are not right in life. We have not kept the right priorities in life. God should get the first priority in life. Instead of that, we give the last priority to God. And how can we really win the grace of God? See, that is the important question. God also will give us the last priority, and Swami gave us many examples. He also gave the very good example of the Prime Minister of Fiji. See, look at, he is the Prime Minister of Fiji. And in his home, it is compulsory, including himself, he attends evening prayers. All his children, grandchildren, everybody should attend prayers. See, that priority is very, very important. We keep sacrificing spiritual practices for flimsy reasons, for no reasons, no pretext, some kind of pretext. And first thing we skip is morning meditation. Everything else is there, but morning meditation is not there. So having right priorities in life is most important. Once we set our priorities, then our progress will be steady, and we have to follow the fundamentals of the spiritual life. This is highest philosophy, no doubt. Like Patanjali Yoga tells us, Yama and Niyama, fundamentals of social disciplines and individual disciplines in life. Only when we practice, we can progress on the path. The last point, which is very important. See, the Sanathana Dharma accepts both God with form and also the formless God, Sakara and Nirakara. The lot of squabbles that have happened in Indian society is because we stick to only Sakara, in the sense a particular form of God. and you don't like people who believe in the other form of God, and we don't think that it is necessary to transcend this sakara and move towards nirakara. Everybody ultimately, the spiritual experience is the experience of the formless God. God who has no form. That is where we have to move. Suppose we stick to sakara all our life, there is no way we reach the goal. These are wonderful truths to everybody, beginning with students to the spiritual aspirants, everybody, and expressing our gratitude to Sadhguru. I pray to him for continuing the discourses on the Ashtavakra Gita. Thank you very much. Sai Ram.
सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः.
When I was studying in the college, a teacher used to say, list your priorities and prioritize your list. What is most important to what is least important, list it down in your life. And then make sure that you prioritize this effort over all other efforts to ensure that you follow this list. So if you say God is most important, then world and then other things, then that list should be prioritized. In the sense you really should follow through that God does remain the most important person and spiritual knowledge remains the most important pursuit. If that is what you say, then you must do that. Because when you don't have the integrity of thought, word and action, then you don't achieve anything in life. It is the integrity of thought, word and action which helps you succeed in life, whether it is a worldly success or spiritual success. So when spiritual people or the aspirants say God is most important for me, they better keep God as the most important thing in life, for which sake everything else can be sacrificed, given up. I was working in the bank, and when I was not here, for a few years Bhagavan told me go work and I will let you know when to come back and do what I want you to do. But for now this is right. I was not willing to go because I was thinking God is my priority and God is what I want and I want to sacrifice everything else for God. And when he kept saying that no, you have to go and work, I kept thinking that he is testing me, checking on me whether I really am interested in him or I have some desire for the world because of which I might want to go and experience that. So he would keep telling me, over the 6 months that I stayed after my MBA, at least 6 times he told me, you go work outside. And every time I told him, no, I want to be here at your feet. And he would say, where is the place at my feet? There is no place. Please keep me with you. I don't want to go. You are my priority. I used to keep telling him. And he would simply brush it aside, saying, you go, take care of your parents, go work, get some experience. And every time this debate would go on. But finally I realized that after 6 months that if God is my priority, then what God says should also be my priority, not what I want to do. First I thought he's checking and testing me whether I am really tempted by the world, and given an option, would I just escape and do what I want to do outside? But 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times I realized that it is not simply he's saying, there is a reason behind what he's saying. And sometimes it happens like that. In the name of prioritizing God as we think of it, we don't prioritize what God says to us because we are so attached to our idea of what God should be or God has to be like. That even if God comes and says it is not so, we are not ready to listen. Because we got stuck with that particular idea. So he kept on saying, you go, and finally I left, of course. After a few years, my heart was not there in the world. I felt like fish out of water. First 1 year will be very attractive because there's a change of place, new things you're learning, you're meeting new people, there are new experiences. So as you remember, senses are outdriven, going outwards. So they get very entangled and very excited. And they all want to enjoy everything. New Bangalore city, new people, new work, new experience, new kind of environment. So mind will, for 1 year, 1.5 years, it will be very happy and busy. But then, because the original thought was very strong in me to go back to Bhagavan, slowly the interest faded in the world. I said, I do not want to do this. Added to that, there was sort of a lot of people whom I met, which were not very nice. So you further feel very uncomfortable in that company, because you want to seek the company of the God-loving people, not money-loving people, not position-loving people, power-loving people. So after some time, it wasn't the way. So you know what happened? I was very disturbed. It was almost 5 years there. We were doing very well. There is no problem with that in terms of the work. But then I thought, what can I do? I do not want to be here, and Bhagavan is not letting me come back. So I went to somebody. Our Vijay Sai is there. He was a counselor and a therapist. I just sought his guidance because he used to also be my English teacher in my college days. So I knew that he does some kind of counseling and things like that. So I'm very disturbed. I wanted to go and see him. So he was very kind. He was coming from somewhere. He had an office very close to my office. So I went there and told, I need some time from you. And he said, of course. And when I went there, he asked me, what is the problem? I said, I do not like this being here. I want to be with Bhagavan. I want to do his work. I don't want to do all these things. Then he said, so what is stopping you from doing that? List down things. What is most important to the least important? 10 points, he told. So first thing was Bhagavan, of course, there's no doubt about it. Second was family, to take care of them. Third was something else. Fourth was something. Sixth was money in my list. And 7th, 8th, 9th were some other things which I don't remember. The 6th was money. Because if you have money, so he told me, how much importance do you give to money? So naturally, we are all spiritual people. We are not going to accept, even if we give importance, we won't say we give importance, right? So we will hide it under some 4 or 5 nice things. So I wrote it as a 6th thing, that money is the 6th most important. And then 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. Then he looked at the list and told me, if money is not important for you, then why are you working? If Bhagavan is important, why don't you go away? Then he told me, suppose today I deposit 5 crore rupees in your account. Would you give up your job and go to Puttaparthi or wherever? I said, of course, because all the other 5 things in the beginning, to be with Bhagavan, to look after the family, to do this, do that, all that dependent on my earning money. Because if I had that, I could have fulfilled the first 5 priorities. Then he said, see, this is where the disconnect is. Consciously, you are saying the most important thing right now for you is Bhagavan, but subconsciously, you are dependent on having enough money to go back, because my plan was earn enough so that I don't have to take money from Bhagavan. I don't have to ask for a salary. I can go there, do a voluntary work till the rest of my life and live there peacefully. But he said, no, you have a plan. The plan is that you should make money so that you have enough support system to look after the family, yourself and anything in the future, so that you can do work for Bhagavan. So you have not prioritized, you're saying one thing on the list, but your mind is thinking something else. So then he taught to me about one is a conscious mind and there is a subconscious mind. And subconscious mind is like a big iceberg in the sea. What is seen, the tip of the iceberg, is only the conscious mind which we are aware of. Unaware, we have so many ideas in our life, which is the subconscious mind, the lower part of the iceberg which is submerged in the sea, which we don't see. We don't get to see with eyes. He told me your conscious mind is definitely saying that you have to go to Bhagavan as soon as you can, but unconsciously or subconsciously, you are dependent on making enough money so that you can go to Bhagavan and then you are able to live there peacefully. So he said, you turn the list other way around. Put money as the first and let Bhagavan be the 5th. That is when you know that what exactly are the steps you are taking to reach Bhagavan. Your list is all upside down, or you just give up the idea of money being important, or with the money that you have, you will go back to serve. Go as to serve nevertheless without money. But here also I see in our ashram and everywhere, people say we want God, but first they want money only. They want security. They want future proofing. After that only they want spiritual growth. But in the mind they keep saying, no, I want spiritual growth, not these other things. But then they hide secretly all things and feel only comfortable when they have enough money and enough financial or whatever family support or other kinds of support systems. Only then they are able to focus on God. But in the list they say God is my most important thing. But the truth is that to achieve that you have so many other things which must happen. So actually you should make the list honestly, saying that no, my importance is I must have a job, I must have a salary, I must have a family, I must have my own children, I must have my own family and whatever support friends. Then I am able to focus on God. At least be honest and say it this way it is. Then telling lies that no, God only is important. But tomorrow God says give up everything, drop everything off and come. We don't have the courage to do that. We say one thing, we do another thing. Manasanyat, vachasanyat, karmananyat. The mind, thought, that is thoughts, word and actions do not match. Somebody who really loves God and wants God only, who should be able to drop anything at the drop of a hat, like giving up family or money or future problems or anxiety of what is going to happen if I shift. Recently some people were bothering me, a family. They said that, we are so fed up with everything, this and that, please take us at your feet and please give us a place. I knew they were just saying it out of frustration of the world, not out of love for God. They thought it is love for God because of which they are asking me to take them in. But this is only because of the frustration for the world they wanted to come. So then I kept on saying that yes, problems will get solved. You wait, no, these problems have been haunting us for so long. You only are our refuge. You please take us, call us and let us be with you. Then one day I told them, okay, give up everything, come and be with me. No reply after that. Because they did not want me to say that. They wanted me to say, okay, all your financial problems will be solved, all your other issues will be solved, you can continue to live happily in the world and once in a while come here and do seva and have darshan. This is the answer they expected. But kept on saying, we have only you, we have nobody else, you take us close to you, make us close to you, we don't want anything else and things like that. But the moment I said, yes, sell the shop, we'll give up all the, whatever the things are there, close all your loans, accounts, and whatever is not able to do, I will help you. Just wind up and come. I'll give you a room to stay in the ashram. Both of you can stay and work in the hospital and do seva. They didn't turn up. Nor they ever bothered me again with my problem and things like that. Because they really did not want to give up the world. They kept on saying that they want to give up the world for the sake of God, but they were so attached to it. All they wanted from me was that their worldly life should become comfortable, convenient, without problems. Please bless us to that extent. That's all they wanted. They didn't want God at all. They told that they wanted God, but deep down in their heart, they didn't want God. They were not willing to give up anything. So like this, I see a lot of hypocrites who say one thing but who do another thing. Who say God is priority, but there are other things running in their head. And when suddenly I drop the bombshell saying, okay, give up everything, come, God is your priority, here, God is with you, come. They don't turn up. This is why we don't progress on the spiritual path. This is why we do not make any strides, or rather we keep slipping back on our spiritual journey because we truly don't mean what we say. If you truly mean God is all that you want, God is all that you will get. You want the world and God as a supplement to the world. You don't get world nor you get God. There is a doha which says, Dvidha mein dono gaye. In this delusion, in this duality, I want the world or I want God? Which one I want? Maya mili na Ram. Duvidha mein dono gaye, Maya mili na Ram. Neither you found Ram nor you found the Maya of the world. Both you did not enjoy. Why? Because you are not sure. You said one thing and you did another thing. And because of this mismatch of your thought, word and action, neither you receive the joy of being with God nor you receive the pleasures of the world. Dhobi ka kutta jaise, na ghar ka na ghat ka. The dog of the washerman neither belongs to the ghat, the washing yard, nor to the home of the washerman. He roams between both. Neither he lives here nor there. That's the Hindi proverb. To say that these people who are confused, that's why dual mind is half blind, they say. Your mind is not clear. You say one thing. How many people I've seen, so many students, when they are in 6th, 7th or small younger age, oh, we want only God, we want only Swami, we don't want anything else. Come 9th and 10th, we want Swami, but we also want other things. That is the next stage. By the time they reach the college level, we want world first. God anyway is with us all the time. He won't leave us. He won't abandon us. He's not supposed to. That's how the priorities change. So when somebody had come, he was very impressed by some slum children he had spoken to, and he told, the first girl told him, I want to be a doctor. Slum children, very poor. And this American man got very impressed, saying, what amazing idealism in such poor children. Why you want to be a doctor? To make money? No, I want to serve the people, because I see so many people in my slum suffering. They don't have a hospital, they don't have a doctor. Oh, very good, very happy. Then he asked the next girl, what do you want to become? She said, I want to be an engineer. Oh, that typical answer of Indians, either doctor or engineer. Why you want to be an engineer? I want to build hospital for the girl who wants to be a doctor. He was very impressed. He came here and told, what wonderful idealism in India. I said, this I've heard dime a dozen. This I've heard 100 times from 100 mouths, but they don't last. You tell me, when they become 18, 19 years old, are they still going to be doctors and engineers to serve the society? At childhood, people will give idealistic answers because they've been told to give idealistic answers. There's a joke, once Bhagavan, in Puttaparthi, everybody in the primary school is told that Bhagavan is everything. That is the standard answer you should give. That's how here also they are told. Swami asks you, what do you want? I want you. Like this. These typical answers are taught to the children. They repeat it like parrots without thinking what this really means. But when they grow up, they realize that is not what they really want. The childhood which says, God, I want only you, the adulthood does not say that. Even if he says it, doesn't mean that. I have seen our children in 6th class, when I go to their campuses, they will hold my hand, cry if I'm leaving. So much, and you will feel so emotional that how. Same fellows reach 10th class, they want to quit the school and go out and do something. How much ever you try to explain to them, remind them, remember you were very devoted, you were crying for God, what happened to all that? They can't even think about it because it looks like somebody else's past to them. Because mind is like that. See, it has its own vasanas and samskaras, which we have brought from previous life. And because of that samskara, it does not allow us to do the right thing. It influences our thinking. So even if you put you in a good company, you're restless. Like the pig Narada. He wanted to enjoy the worldly life. Narada was a rishi. But he thought, what is so beautiful about this world that people are so attracted, they forget God only? What is such a thing, such a big deal in the world? So our Narada took a form of a pig. Pig, swine. So he took the form and then he went into the company of pigs to just check what is so interesting in this world that they enjoy and they can't give it up. And then he met one female pig. They fell in love. They decided to marry. So they performed a ceremony. All pigs attended in that sewer. And then soon after marriage, they had their honeymoon in the sewer. And then they had piglets, plenty of them, because pigs produce a lot. And he was living like this happily, rolling in the slush, in that stench, in that stink, not able to understand the difference between good and bad, so enamored by his wife's beauty and his children's love, that he could not think of God anymore. One day Indra was passing by, the king of all the other gods. He could see through, he saw that this pig is not a pig. Then he realized this is Narada, a rishi who has become a pig. What is he doing in that sewer? So he went all the way to check with him. What are you doing here? He said, what do you mean what I am doing here? This is my home, this is where I belong. He said, no, you are a great rishi. You are a jnani, you have forgotten who you are. And you are rolling in this slush. It is so shameful. He said, no, I am quite happy over here. He said, no, I will take you to your original place. He said, is it even better than this? He said, it's much, much better than this. Come. So he tells, I will discuss with my wife. So he discusses with his wife that this man says that there is some better place where we can go and live, much better than what we are here. So wife says, all right, but take care of your diet and other things and let me know once you come back. So Narada very reluctantly parts with his wife and children with tears in his eyes, with great difficulty. He finally follows Indra and goes to the heaven. where the gods reside. In the heaven, there is beautiful dance and music, bhajans are going on, satsanga is going on, Rudra Yajnas are going on, all this beautiful Ashtavakra Gita is going on. But the pig is not interested. He is restless, he is fidgeting, he is agitated, he is moving from left to right, right to left. The king Indra asks, what's wrong with you? Don't you enjoy all these things? He said, no, I don't like any of these things. Okay, we will feed you the best of the things, freshly cooked meal from the kitchen, no stale stuff, no processed food, organic, healthy. No, I don't like all these things. I want to eat what I used to eat. Send me back. He says, wait, we will give you some beautiful entertainment, World Cultural Festival. Many countries will come and they will give you beautiful presentations. No, I don't want any of this. I want to go back to my sewer with my other pigs. Wait, there are many good spiritual talks going to happen. You will attain a lot of wisdom. No, I don't want any of it. I want to go back to the sewer. So till he went back to the sewer, he was not happy. Once he went back, he was relaxed. Oh, my wife, my kids, my stink, my stench, my smell, everything is back. This is how mind is. Vasanas, what I'm saying. Vasanas of the mind of the Purva Janma, they're so strong, they don't allow us to do the right thing. So we end up in such good environment like here. Because we are children, we are told that you are God and everything is God and you must only see God. Theoretically, we pick it all up and repeat it like a parrot. But deep inside, those vasanas are there. We are still craving for that sewer only, even in the heaven. We still want that stale, smelly, stinky food, even if fresh things are served. We still want the company of the worldly and the selfish, even if we have company of the wise and the selfless. We still want to go back and enjoy those petty pleasures of the body and the mind, even if there is so much of entertainment for the soul. Why? Because we are still spiritually not evolved. Why? Because we have not prioritized things properly. And if you have prioritized God, then everything else should be given up for God's sake. Why there should be a delay? Why there should be even a single thought? See, when Narasimhamurti was here, that was way back in 80s, our Swami came and told him that you must move to Prashanti Nilayam. And without a moment's notice, he just told how much time it will take. It was just 20 minutes. Packed his books, bags and was ready. How many of us are ready, packed and ready? We have scattered all our things everywhere around. When God says, let us go, He says, oh, I will take a lot of time because I have to collect all the things that I have. Less luggage, more comfort. Less relationships, less entanglements, less desires, less associations, less ideas, less priorities of the world. Faster you can move. That's why I say, the life of a sannyasi is extremely free because they don't have, that moment we can give up everything and go. So what happened in my career, I became very clear now that I'm telling that I want God, but actually I want money so that I can get God. So I have not really written the priorities properly. So then I started thinking deeply about it and said, even if you have money or no money, I want God only. I'll rather beg and eat, but I'll be with God than to earn so much money that I can live a princely life even in Puttaparthi and have a comfortable life and do service. Which is what most people want to do. They all want to earn enough, accumulate enough, put it in the retirement funds, then get a good hefty interest on it and then come to ashram. Before that they don't want to come. Why? Because the risks are there. So I decided, no, I don't want anything. I just want to go to God. So I went to, without applying for even leave, because they won't give leave for such a long time. I did not know how many days it will take for me to convince Bhagwan. So I just one fine day left and went to Puttaparthi, drove all the way alone and was staying there. Bhagwan wouldn't come for darshan. Some days he would come, some days he wouldn't come because he was not keeping too well. So you never know which day you will get to see him or talk to him. I just waited and waited. 10 days passed. Not even one day he came. Not even one day he looked at me or talked to me. And then a call came from the office. Where are you? 10 days you've been missing. What is this? This is very irresponsible. Your clients are all calling. You are not picking their calls. You are not attending to their needs. And this is becoming a complaint. Then 10th day I did not know what to do. So I cried and cried and cried saying, why are you rejecting me? Here I am. I've given up the idea that I want money to be with you. I've given up the idea that I want to have a comfortable life in Puttaparthi. I've given up the idea that I don't have to ask you for anything in the future. I'm ready to beg in front of you and be yours and serve you. Why you are not letting me in? So I cried and cried myself to sleep. And I saw a dream in which Bhagavan came and showed me 10 fingers. And that's it. That was the end of the end of the dream. What it meant, I did not know. 10 years, maybe I thought 10 more years or 10 more days or 10 more lifetimes. I do not know what he meant. But I understood that he has told that this is not now, go back. So with a heavy heart I went back. But I was very clear this time I don't want anything else. I just want to go back. And I kept on doing whatever I could because you have to keep your flesh and bone together and you have a family to look after. My brothers, sisters are all studying. Father is not working, mother is not working. I'm the only one working. So I went back saying that would be irresponsible not to look after them. So I kept doing what I can for another year past. But one fine day I was somewhere else abroad. I felt very pained. I felt, no, I must get rid of this Maya. I don't want this. I was so clear. There was no desire left of world or even the thought I'm responsible for the life of my family. I was not having that. I told I don't want anything. Around the same time, it was in Puttaparthi that Hanumant was there. He used to play tabla, so he used to sit right in front of Bhagavan. It so happened that on his own he inquired, what is this Madhusudan doing? And then he immediately sprang up and said he wants to quit his job and come here. He said, what will he do after quitting job? He wants to come and serve here. No. Let him quit the job. First part he approved, saying, okay, let him quit the job. But the second part he didn't say anything about. Let him do something in Bangalore, he said. That's it. He called me. I was in South Africa. A time difference was there. The moment I got the message, next morning I was on our flight back to Bangalore. I landed in Bangalore. On the way in the bus to the home, I typed my resignation letter, kept it ready. Next morning, put it in the email, official email, and sent it. Without thinking even for 10 seconds, what is next? How are we going to pay the debts? How are we going to take care of each other? What is going to be the future? What will happen next? No worries. It just took that much. One yes from him. That night I got the message. Next morning I was in India. Just sent and everybody was said, what is this nonsense? You didn't even give a hint that you were going to do this. I said, I'm not interested. How soon can you relieve me? That's all I want to know. I'm ready to pay whatever it requires and get rid of it. They said, no, you can't do this. You have so many clients. They have to be properly handed over to the next manager. You can't just walk away. So they told, as soon as I bugged them and they said, as soon as you can hand over all your 200 clients, you can walk away. And that took 1 month for me. Actually, imagine 25 days, daily I has to meet 8 people, morning 6 to evening 10, just to hand over to the next person very quickly. I was not interested. I was wanted like a head on fire, they say. You are here at caught fire, you want to run for water. That desperation was there. So everything, so quickly, in 25 days, I finished all the handovers. They were shocked, saying that nobody has done this far. They'll take 3 months. But what is this gone into you? Many people came and advised you. You are doing very well. Your career has just started. You are blooming. This is the time you should make the best use of this opportunity. Why you are running away? I said, I cannot explain to you. That's it. I cannot be here. I feel breathless. I feel suffocated. I have to go. So from the topmost management till everybody called, everybody I told, I have no problem. I just want to go because I have something else to do. I can't tell Bhagavan has told anything. They won't understand. But this is what it was. When you really prioritized God, then only God responded saying, okay. So did I have the money to take care of myself? No. Did I have the deposits or funds or properties to look after the family? No. I just plunged. I just jumped. That is why St. Francis says, God is an abyss. If you have courage, jump. Don't ask what is at the bottom of it. It's a bottomless pit. You just jump. If you have courage, jump. So spirituality is for the courageous. Nayamatma balahine labhyaha. Weak people cannot attain God. It is not for the weak. All the ones who have attained God have been very courageous and very clear in their mind. Be clear, the rest will follow, Bhagavan used to say. This clarity that I want God and God alone should help you to give up everything just like that. If God wants you to have it, you have it. If God does not want you to have it, just drop it. Like a hot potato. That ability is the ability of a sadhaka. If you want to experience how Janaka experienced that truth in hardly any time, as Ashtavakra was speaking, then you should have this ability and courage. And that ability and courage comes from your priority. That God alone is your priority. Wife, husband, children, family, business, friends, relations, positions, accolades, powers, recognition, all this is secondary. Everything can be dropped. And many of the people in this hall are those people whom I called and told, come, you have got the call of God. And they dropped and came. They came here immediately. They said, no, okay, fine. Many people just asked, give me a few days because there are few commitments I must finish and come, lest they should suffer. I said, fine, that you finish and come. Many people just dropped and came. That's how we built this institution. When I was here, who was there? We were just 5-7 people, that's it. And Tyagajivis were the teachers. Other teachers were coming from outside, 250, 300 students. That's about it. I used to live in Saidam earlier, that small complex. I was only alone. The whole floor, there was only me occupying. Nobody used to live here. Everything was empty. You talk, everything will be like echoing everywhere because there's absolute empty rooms, empty corridors. Whole place was empty. And I was wondering, what am I doing here? But Bhagavan had sent me, so I just came. So today you see so many people who have joined, they're working in so many positions. They are the people who dropped everything for the sake of God. And this is how you get God. Otherwise you don't get God. See, God is exclusive. You want to get God, you have to get rid of everything else. That is the zeros that he keeps talking about. We think it's a very painful process, but the truth is that it is the most beautiful process of self-transformation. Like you see a caterpillar becomes a butterfly. You should see that, how it happens. It's ready to shed its cocoon, the comfort cocoons of family, of wealth, of power, position. It's ready to shed it all because it has now grown wings, beautiful wings. It's no more the ugly caterpillar. But unless it lets go of its old cocoon, can it ever take to its wings? Not possible. We want to stay in the cocoon yet become butterflies. Not possible. Choose one over the other. Then how do you treat your family and friends? Treat them also as gods. Treat them also with the same love but no attachment. See, love has no attachment. Love has no attachment. Love is equal. Love is free. If ever you feel bound in any relationship and call it that it's a relationship of love, you're fooling yourself. It's a relationship of whatever relationship, bound by certain emotional dependencies. That's all it is. Real love has no attachment, no dependencies. It's free, always free. So you say you love somebody and yet you are so dependent on them. It's not true. That love is not true. That's some infatuation, attraction, or some emotional bond, whatever it can be, a blood relation. So the idea is that we don't progress on the spiritual path unless we are this serious. Unless we are this serious, we don't progress on the spiritual path. We cannot have this and that both and somehow feel that, no, God will be kind, He will allow us to enjoy the world and somehow He will also grant us self-realization. Don't fool yourselves. Don't live in fool's paradise. He may give you whatever you need. For example, today I am living a much better life materially, physically, comfortably. But nothing belongs to me and I don't want anything to belong to me also. I find it as a big pain to sign anything. I don't like. It is very easy if just whatever comes by its own. Insisting upon things becomes very burdensome, which is the freedom that spirituality brings you to. Nothing belongs to you. I'm just saying, let's say something goes wrong and I have to just leave the place. I have nowhere to go. I have no house, no address, no people, nothing. I am just alone. I have no money, nothing I have. But yet I am so free. I am independent. Why? Because I know whatever next has to happen, God will take care of it because I am dependent only on God. I am not dependent on the world. So that kind of clarity and priority is a must to progress on the spiritual path. A quote says, God's will never take me to a place where God's grace cannot look after me. He will always send me to a place where His grace. And if He feeds me best of the food, so be it. If He starves me, so be it. If He dresses me in silken robes, so be it. If He gives me tatters to cover myself, so be it. If He gives me palaces to dwell in, so be it. If He gives me a cave to live in, so be it. If He puts so many people around me as my well-wishers or takes away everything and makes me alone, so be it. Are we ready with that kind of preparation is my question. If you're not ready like that, then reading any number of books, me lecturing any number of times is not going to make much difference. That is why yesterday I said The minimum we should see that are we progressing towards that kind of detachment? Are we progressing towards that kind of dispassion? Every day is the hold of the senses and the mind and the desires, is it getting loosened? Are our doubts that I am the self and not the body completely destroyed? Are we convinced thoroughly that we are the self and we don't need anything else to be ourselves? Is that kind of clarity and conviction has come? If it has not come, then progress has not happened. Theoretically, a lot of people know a lot of books, but they are so attached and emotional about everything else. That's why I feel I get surprised. That's why here also says it will be a surprise if such a person who knows the self still gets entangled in the world and behaves like a worldly person. Because I've seen a lot of people who have read such things and they can lecture long hours, but at the end they cannot give up anything. They want everything around them. So such people don't progress. So before we enter the next book, I thought we better take a stock of what we should have learnt by now. What should have been our aptitude? What should have been our disposition? How we should have been made ourselves ready. If that is not ready, then what is the point in reading more books is what I am saying. So this is something that we have to really develop as a conviction. Anything can be dropped for the sake of God. But believe you me, if you really love God and God has already accepted you, He will give you the right people in your life. He will give you the right situations. He will give you the right environment where your spirituality is sustained, where your spirituality is retained, protected. So I have lost all the friends of the past, but I have made so many new friends. Maybe I have lost a lot of relations of the past, but I have made new relations. Maybe I have lost my earlier addresses and whatever titles, but I have received new addresses and titles. Everything has been like a rebirth for us. You are reborn in spirituality. Your old is no more valid. So it will get discarded automatically. Like the butterfly discards its cocoon. The old address, old position, old comfort zones are not valid. They are not applicable anymore. That is when it becomes a beautiful butterfly. So think like that unless you give up the old, you cannot get the new. You can't have the old and the new both at the same time. It's not allowed. That's not the spiritual path. During one session in Trahi Vrindavan, suddenly Bhagavan was very serious that then he told, either you ask for world or you ask for God. Don't ask for both because you won't get. I was shocked because we were all told that, when you are devoted to God, you can enjoy the world also in the right way and God also you will get. This idea was comforting idea, very soothing idea, very, assuring idea. But the moment he told in Trai, I got scared. I said, it means you have to give up the world for the sake of God? Means you can't have your cars and homes and positions and money, family, children and all the friends and the parties and the entertainment and merrymaking. Then I went to a teacher and told, is this what it means? To have God in your life, that you have to give up everything? Because I had plans. He said, if you're really seriously wanting God, that is what it is. That is what it is. If you want God as a side dish in your meal, that's different. The matter is different. If God is your whole meal, then everything else has to become a side dish. I was very shocked. Actually, I came back quite disturbed after the Trai session because I thought after this degree I can get an employment, make some money, live a comfortable life, also do seva and things like that. Suddenly, whole thing was destroyed in one sentence of his. That you can either have this or that. So most of the people fool themselves that if we have God, we will also have the world. Not necessary. If you have God, you have only God. And whatever God decides you should have, that is all you will have. You don't decide anything anymore for yourself. So that clarity should be there in everybody. Now children are small, they are very idealistic, they listen to Ashtavakra, they become, okay, I want so many messages I get every day. Please bless me that I follow this path, I don't deviate, this sinks in, I realize this. I know this, but I know 2 years down, why 2 years, 1 year down the line? When the world comes back again with all its force, all these ideas will disappear. To sustain these ideas, you have to go on doing your daily sadhana. Daily you have to listen to the good things. Do Swadhyaya daily. Then only you will be able to sustain this effort. Otherwise, you will slip back into your old ways very quickly. Very quickly. It won't even take a few months. A day is enough. With that background, let me start this chapter 8. Just 4 shlokas. But now, onwards, Ashtavakra Gita gets very interesting. Because here, till now, you listen to the idea of self by Ashtavakra and the idea of the experience of the self by Janaka, which are beautiful. Both of them are talking in the same language and enjoying that conversation. Here onwards, practical tips start. I told you that Ashtavakra also gives you very practical tips, because everybody is not realized like Janaka. Everybody is not living in the same state as Janaka, where everything looks illusory. For us, life still matters to us. Somehow our priorities are not yet straightened out. Somehow we still are swinging in that confusion between world and God. We are still not there like Janaka. So how do we continue on this journey? Instead of just discussing theory of how it is in that state, here onwards Ashtavakras are saying, check on these things to know whether you are really reaching there or not, your milestones. And that is how we start the chapter 8. He gives you 6 reasons for your bondage. And then he tells, the first shloka says, Tada bandho yada chittam kinchid vanchati shochati kinchid munchati grihnati kinchid drishyati kupyati. Tada bandho, that is where the bondage is. Where? Yada chittam, where the mind kinchid vanchati desires for even something very little, very minuscule, but there is a trace of desire in you. When you have that smallest of the desire also, that's where bondage happens. Yada shochati, when you worry, when you think, when you are sorrowful, when you are sad because you didn't get what you wanted, even if it's the minuscule amount of it, not like a huge voracious appetite for things or desires, even the smallest trace of it is there. Kinchit shochati, when the person thinks about it. Kinchit munchati, when there is the smallest desire to give up or reject things, or the smallest desire to grihnati, which is to accept things, or the smallest desire to drishyati, hrishyati, which means being happy, or kupyati, means being angry or sad. When any of these qualities, which are desiring, worrying, rejecting, accepting, rejoicing, and suffering in anger, any of these 6 things are happening in you, howsoever small and little, you are still bound. That is the conclusion. You may say, no, my desires are very little now. I used to be so desirous, I used to be so worried, I used to be so angry, I used to be so excited. Now all that has come down to very, okay, to that extent the loosening of the bondage has happened, but you are still bound. You are not free. Ashtavakra will tell, because you still have the trace, minimal also, minuscule also, the trace of desire is there in you. You want something still. You desire for things. And because of that, you have the idea that I don't want this, I don't want that. And then you worry when you are not able to fulfill those desires. You get angry when your desires are not fulfilled. You get excited when the desires are fulfilled. All these dualities still exist in you. Howsoever in the smallest amount also, you are still bound. You are still bound. You are not yet free. So this is what you should check on yourself, whether I have any desire left in me. Even smallest desire also will bind us. Bharata, Jada Bharata story. The king Bharata had the smallest desire. Oh, where is that deer? I hope the lion has not eaten it. I hope it is safe in the forest. And he dies. With that smallest desire. He didn't desire for some kingdom, wealth, his wife and children, his all positions, power, respect, nothing. He just desired, I hope that little fawn that I was looking after is safe. And he died thinking of that and was born as a deer, they say. The idea is that even the smallest desire, if it's remaining, even this much, it will still bind you. It will not allow you to be free. Now imagine how much of bondage we have. Now think of every single desire, every idea of giving up or accepting, every idea of getting excited or getting depressed is like one snare, one noose around your neck. Now think how many nooses are there. And each of them you have to cut asunder to be free. Even if one is left, it is still bound. You cannot move out of it. So this is the idea. How do I get rid of it? Till I have the smallest desire also in me, you are bound. So many people say, what about you? I say, I also have a desire. I have a desire to do good. I have a desire to help people. I have a desire to, let people know about spirituality and service, and they also rejoice. I also have a desire to redeem them. This is the desire which binds me here, right? If this desire is not there in me to do good, to help other people also walk this path, to support people who are suffering, why should I be sitting here and bearing all this? I'm free. As soon as I give up this idea of doing service, I'm free. As soon as I give up this idea that I must look after others, I'm free. But to me also, this one alone binds. But this is a good desire. This is given by God. He's saying, you are here for a purpose. You can't just be free like this. For some time you have to be bound. because there are so many who are yet to be freed. So it's like the one who goes back for those who have not crossed the chasm. Somebody has to go back for those. For me, the job is that, go back for them and bring them on this side. So that one thing is binding me. But am I really bound? No, because any moment I can drop it. You may say, how can you just drop it like this? What about all of us? What about these institutions? What about all these things you have started? I told, I do not know. That's none of my concern. Because they are not because of me. I am not the doer of all this. I am not the enjoyer as well. So where does it matter to me? It doesn't matter to me. I can walk away anytime. Though you're simply saying you won't do that. No, you never know. You never know. These jnanis are very, very risky people, dangerous people. Because they have mind of their own. Mind means they have their own way of doing things. Nobody can ask them that they should stay put or do this and they should not do this. Who can tell them? Last time he told, no, where is the fear for them? And who can tell them what you should do and what you should not do? They live on their own terms. You can't bind them. Then why are they still working for others? Because divinely ordained. It is divinely ordained, so they are doing. The day divine says, fine, don't have to do this. That's it, that's the end of everything. Somebody asked a jnani, you have done all these big, big things, ashram and this and that. Once you die, what will happen to all these things? He said, once I die, these things don't exist for me any which way. So how does it matter to me? They don't exist for me, I don't exist for them. I am free. How does it matter, he said. That clarity they have. With that clarity only you should get into the world. That's what I tell. But if you don't know where to exit from, don't enter. In a cinema hall also, you go to a big hall, there are boards that no entry and exit. But whenever you enter a hall, first you should look for the exit door. Because if something goes wrong, which way should you go out? You should be really ready. Earlier, whenever I used to travel, I used to go to people's homes and then from there to others, like this you travel. So my bags were there. I never used to take out things from my bag. I used to always keep it packed only. Only that much which is needed for the day, I'll take out and after using, I'll pack it back. Generally, people, what they do, they take the bag, they spread the whole thing in the whole hotel room, So much so that if I have to repack them, they have a miserable time. They can't find their things. Everything they will scatter everywhere as if they're going to live there forever. Once you know you're not going to live there forever, why should you put all these things around? So I'll keep it in my bag only. I'll just open the bag, take out the clothes that I need for the day, use it, and after using, put it back into the bag in other side, used clothes side. And I will never open the bag and spread my things around. That was never my habit. Because I was conscious, I was aware that tomorrow I have to repack all these. That is going to be a lot of work if I simply scatter everything around. So I was always packed. That is what is ever ready to go. You should be always packed and ready. Because you don't know when the call comes. That time you cannot delay. When God calls you, let's go, this is it. You can't say, I have so many things to wind up, I have so many things to pack, and I have so many things to carry. God will leave. He says, the time is over. I came, I gave you opportunity, you are not ready. So being ready all the time is very important. Little desire also in us does not allow us to be ready. So these 6 things you check on yourself. Vanchati, is there any desire? Shochati, is there any sorrow? Munchati, is there any idea of rejecting things? Grihnati, is there any idea of accepting things? Kinchat drishyati, hirshati, is there any idea of getting excited? Or kupyati, is there any idea of getting angry? Any of these 6 ideas even exist to the minimalist extent also, it only conveys that you are bound, you are not free. Which we all know that we are bound because we experience the bondage. We just cannot drop things and walk away. And so this idea of freedom is what he is now explaining, that what are the prerequisites? What all should happen in you? And if you have any of these things not happening, then you are bound only. This idea of I and mine is the reason for all this. I desire, I am happy, I am excited, I am depressed, I am angry. This I, this small I which we say, the ego identity is the problem. If you don't have that ego identity, there is no problem at all. Nothing can bind you. Because to bind you, something should be there to bind you. Like 0 multiplied by anything is 0. Likewise, there is nothing to tie to. Where is the question of bondage? You don't exist as the ego. So you cannot be bound. That is the idea, that nothing moves inside you. You are absolutely peaceful. Kathopanishad says a beautiful shloka is there. Yada panchavi tishtanti jnanina manasa saha buddhischana vicheshtati tam ahu paramam gatihi. What is the highest state? All the five senses are absolutely still. No desiring, wanting to taste, touch, smell, hear, nothing. Absolute stillness. Pancha avatishtanti. And jnanina manasa saha. And he says that jnanani manasa saha, even the higher intelligence in you, discrimination, that also is absolutely zero. This discrimination, I want this, I want to reject this, this is good, that is bad, these are nice, those are not, these are mine, those are others. This idea of that also disappears. Mind also absolutely steady because there are no sankalpa vikalpa, no thoughts and decisions. Absolutely steady. Buddhi, your intelligence also is absolutely steady. It doesn't fluctuate. That sthiti is known as the self, that Kathopanishad says. When all your senses are steady, your intelligence is steady, your discrimination is steady, your mind is steady, absolutely there is no vikara in you, no movements in you. That is the ultimate state of self. But how does vikara come? Like in a steady, still lake, how do ripples form? The wind blows from somewhere. And when the wind blows, or you throw a stone in it, ripples form. Like that, these jnanis are able to maintain the steadiness of their inside. Why? Because they are not affected by the winds or any disturbance to the lake. And these disturbance and winds are what? Their samskara and vasanas. What is vasana? Deep-rooted instincts. They are vasanas. Why it has come? Because so many lifetimes we have been doing that. Repeated habits. They become our vasanas. And what are samskaras? These vasanas, when they externally get manifested as activities, belief systems, behavioral systems, they are samskara. Iವರು ತುಂಬ ಸಂಸ್ಕಾರವಂತರು ಅಂತ we say. He is a very, very cultured person. Samskara means he has got very good behavior and demeanor and disposition. What is the reason for it? His vasanas. Deep under, he has these latent tendencies, instincts. So this is vasana samskara. Vasana is instinct, samskara is the tendency, which expresses the instincts. So you are very greedy by instinct. What will be your samskara? Always looking for what I can get out of things. So that idea, the samskara vasana are like a chakra. The moment you fulfill an instinct through a tendency, it reinforces the instinct. It makes it stronger in you. So every time you follow on your instincts and make it happen, it becomes even stronger. Suppose your instinct is anger, short temper. Every time you get angry, it becomes stronger in you. You have an instinct of kindness. Every time you do charity, it becomes stronger in you. And that is how we grow and evolve. We have already brought some ideas with us from our previous lives. But how to overcome them? You have to change your samskaras. For that, you have to change your vritti. Vritti means whatever you are doing in the life. So it's a reverse thing. You change your actions, change your tendencies, change your thoughts and deep beliefs. Remember, sow a thought, reap an action, sow an action, reap a tendency, sow a tendency, reap a habit, sow a habit, reap a character, sow a character, reap a destiny. Now go back, reverse. Let us want to change, we want to change our destiny. What should we change? We should change our character. For that, what should we change? Change our habits. For that, what should we change? Change our actions, tendencies. For what we change? We should change our actions. For that, what should we change? Change our thoughts. So go back. Start changing your actions. Start doing more seva. Start meeting people who are kind and generous. Start being with in the company of people who are spiritual and seekers. Already slowly your tendencies will start changing, habits will start changing, and eventually your deep-rooted vasana will also change and go away. That is why external body should be put to work. Mind should be put to thinking. But what kind of work? The work that frees you, not that which binds you. Thoughts that free you, not that which bind you. Then slowly your inside will change. So change the outside, your inside will change. Change the inside, your outside will change. So the same principle you apply, I will change the outside so that my inside also changes. Once my inside changes, my outside further reinforced. The changes will get reinforced. So I am not a slave to my instincts anymore. I put conscious efforts. Like people can't wake up in the morning. What is the effort they should put? Wake up in the morning. Put an alarm and somehow force yourself to get out of the bed. You do it over a regular period of time, slowly it becomes habit. You start enjoying waking up early. You start enjoying that morning rituals. And then you don't want to lie in the bed anymore. So we can, uddhared atmanatmanam, we can redeem ourselves through efforts. And these efforts are possible. It's not that it's not possible. So what is the effort he's asking? Check on yourself. Any desire, any worry, any idea of rejection or accepting, any idea of joy and sorrow or anger and frustration, you are bound. Because these emotions are now the snares that are binding you. You have to overcome that. This is what he's saying. So this is the first shloka itself. This itself puts us in a difficult spot, because we all go through these things. Every time we are going through this, it means our bondages are intact. Nothing has changed even after listening to Ashtavakra. The second shloka is, so he said, where is the bondage? When these 6 things happen, there is bondage. So where is the freedom? When these 6 things don't happen. That is the next shloka. It says, tada muktir yada chittam na vanchati, na shochati, na mucyanti, na grhanati, na hrishyati, na kupyati. When all these 6 things cease to happen in you, you are free. So this second shloka does not need a separate explanation. It is a corollary to the first one. The first one says, when these things happen, you are bound. The second one says, when these things don't happen, then you are not bound. Nothing should be, no desire should be there. Let it be as it is. One story is there, right? One man goes to meditate. His guru says, go to that particular hill, go on top of the hill and meditate. He has nothing, he has just a loin copin cloth that he has tied around his waist and gone up the hill. But whenever he is meditating, whenever he washes that one piece of cloth that he has, all his possessions, when he puts it for drying, there are these wild rats, the mountain rats. So they would start nibbling on the cloth. After all, it's a small piece of cloth, but they make holes in it. So he feels very uncomfortable, says that I have only one piece of cloth, these rats have eaten into that, what do I do? So he goes down the village, go to the village people say, what happened? He says, my piece of cloth is gone bad because these rats have eaten, made holes into it. They give him another piece of cloth, say, you are a jnani, you are a yogi, please go up and do meditation. But they also tell him that, then he says that, can I have a cat? Can you donate a cat? Why? So that cat will take care of the rats. All right, they say, is a papam, after all, he is doing his meditation, so they donate a cat. So he takes the cat and goes up. And now the cat is after the rats, so nobody is disturbing his meditation or the cloth. So cat finishes off all the rats on the hill. And after a few weeks or months, the cat is hungry, it has nothing to eat. So it's crying all the time, meow, meow. And this man's meditation is going for a toss. So he goes down to the village again. This time villagers ask, what is the problem? He says, the cat has finished all the rats, but the cat is always hungry. So can you donate a cow? The villagers say, all right, no problem, we'll give you a cow. So he takes the cow and goes up. There's lush green grass on the hill. So cow is happily eating the grass, the milk is coming, the cat is drinking all the milk. This man also is drinking some milk, they are living happily. After some time, there is summer season, all the grass is over, everything is dried up. Now the cow is hungry, so it is making noise all the time. Now the man goes down to the village and tells the villagers, the cow is hungry because there is no grass. Can you lend me a worker, a helper, who can grow some grass for the cow on the hill, so that cow can eat grass and give milk, so that cat can drink milk and keep the rats away. So they say, okay, fine, we will give you a worker. So one village man goes up with him and grows some grass on the hill for the cow. Now the cow is happily eating grass, giving milk, cat is drinking milk, keeping the rats away. Everything is peaceful and nice. But after some time, because of the man who has gone up, he cannot drink milk all the time. He says, you are a yogi, you can drink, I have to eat some grains. Can I make a little farm and grow some grains? He said, all right, by all means do that. So he starts growing grains. Now they're having good meals on top. And then after a heavy, hefty meal, what happens? What happens? Sleeping all the time. But they have become very strong and beautiful and handsome. Is no more the skinny, bony mendicant who had come. So there is a village maiden who is going there, and she looks at him and gets enamored. She comes to him and tells, you are such a handsome man. You are eating this food and you are drinking this milk. I can do more for you. I can cook very well. I'll take care of you. Would you marry me? He says, no, I'm not here to marry. I'm here to meditate. He said, but if I'm there, the other person also will get food. He can manage the farm better. And then I will not disturb your meditation. I'll cook for you and I'll be lying in one corner. I will not disturb. So she convinces him. He also gets married. After marriage, the wife is cooking nicely, the farm is running well, cows are growing, cats are taking care of the rats, and the man is meditating. But after a few years, few months, whichever way, the wife gets very disturbed. She says, see, you are a mendicant, you want to do meditation, but I am a normal woman, I need to have children. I need to have a family. I will take care of the children so that I am not bored. You continue your meditation. So then they have 2 children. Now the children are running around the whole place. Where is the meditation? By the time the guru comes searching for, I had sent a disciple up here. Where is he? And then this man, young, very nicely built, well dressed, with 2 kids playing around, plenty of cows, a large farm, and a house, and a beautiful woman, and many servants, is sitting there. He says, I had sent one of my disciples to meditate. Do you know if he is anywhere? He says, Guruji, I am the disciple. What happened to you? What are you up to? He says, not my fault. These rats in the mountain were eating the cloth. The rats are the reason for this mess. He says, the rats are not the reason. You are the reason for the mess. If rats had eaten the cloth, roam naked. After all, you came for meditation only, right? You were not interested in the world. No, but those vasanas, deep down, those were there. And one desire led to another. A desire to protect your piece of cloth led to the desire for cat. Then the cat led to cow. Cow led to grass. Grass led to a man. Man led to other food. Then came a woman. Woman led to children. And now you are a samsari. You have lost the very purpose for which. That is what happens to every soul that comes to the earth. It comes with the same conviction, I must realize God. But then gets entangled in all these vasana, samskara, chakras. I want this, then to fulfill that something else, to fulfill that something else, and then you are caught in this samsara. You're never able to get out of it. Now how do we get out? How does he get out of it? He has to abandon his wife and children. And how people will say, how cruel that is. That you married and now you have abandoned your children. And now you are not looking after the wife. What about her fate? What is her fault? After all, you agreed to marry. So, you cannot come out of this. It's a quicksand now. The more you struggle to come out, the more you will go inside. So, this is the samsara. This is the idea of why this samsara is so very attractive, yet it is so very enticing, and finally it binds you. So, what is the other way? Stop desiring for things. Make it minimal. Your bondage will loosen at least. And where do you get a better opportunity to tell me? If another Swamiji was there, he would have starved you like the other Swamiji. He would never even feed you on time. You have to find your own food by doing bhiksha, begging. He won't give you clothes. He won't give you nice, well-lit, electrified, air-conditioned schools, hospitals, colleges. He won't give you any of these titles and positions and salaries and increments. None of this is given in any ashram. You will just go there and you will probably be given 2 square meals a day, simple food, and maybe 2 pairs of clothes, and you do your sadhana. But I know that is not how it will work, because people are desirous. So how to slowly work on them to remove their desires one by one, and then bring them to a stage where they don't have any more desires for the world, they desire for God, and slowly grow them into that strong desire for God and allow them to let go of the world. This is a long process. It takes years for me to bring a child from an institution to the institution or a staff, then slowly work on them for years, giving them what they want, taking care of all their needs, and developing the conviction in them that all I need is God. That takes a long, long time. So all this effort and investment is being made is towards that, not towards giving you an employment so that you can build a house, marry and have cars and children and then live like any other worldly fellow, but namesake inside the ashram. Feel good about it that, no, that is not the reason why you are here. That was never the reason. Recent times what has happened? As students have grown, they've graduated, post-graduated, they're getting into jobs, taking responsibility. Then they look at all the grihasthas who have come to the ashram, who have worked outside, they had children, they had wives, they had all this, and they have come and settled here, working in various departments. Now our youngsters are getting influenced by this other crowd. They feel, oh, what is wrong? They also enjoyed the world, they are also enjoying the God. We also should enjoy both God and the world. That thinking is changing. So I raised some red flags, saying that is not the reason. See, they also seek God, so they also have come seeking God. If they were much younger and they had found me, probably they would not have gotten into most of the samsara chakra at all. But now they have gotten it, should I throw them away saying that you don't deserve? No, they also require God, so they are coming. They are giving up all those attachments are coming. which is even more difficult. Suppose you don't have anything to give up, life is easy, isn't it? If you have so many things to give up, which you are used to for 30, 40 years, and then change to an ashram life, it is far difficult. When I tell our youngsters that, see, rather you not get into all these things, where first you get in and then you want to get out of it, why waste time? You have good opportunity to straight away walk this path. But then they looked at the other side and say, oh, they all seem to be enjoying both. But I tell them, no, there is no both for them also. There is no both for them. If they come here and they still want to enjoy the world, they will never get God. They have given up the world and now they are seeking God, so they are here. But if they deviate, they will lose God. For you also it is the same path. I want world or God, very clear. If God wants something to happen, then let it happen. If God does not want it to happen, it will not happen. When Vishwamitra wanted Rama to get married, he took him all the way to Sita. He knew there is a reason why Rama should get married, Ravana should be killed, Dharma should be established, and so on and so forth. But not for any other reason. So that complete understanding of what is the purpose why we are is very important. I can understand the relationships you have brought here with you because of your previous karmas. Like your parents are your previous karma relationships. Your siblings are your previous karma relationships. And you have responsibility towards them. I am never saying you abandon that. We are saying look after your parents and siblings, which are already your responsibility, which you cannot abandon. See, other places, if you want to be a sannyasi, they will tell you change your name. In fact, you have to do your own pindadana. Pindadana means you offer your final rites to yourself. To declare that you are a monk now and you are no more associated with the family. You have to do your own pindadana. Here we don't do all that things. We don't tell you to change your external ways. Internal changes only. Guna vaitrishnasya, giving up the inside qualities. And look after your family, those who are already with you. You can't abandon your mother, father, sister, brother like that. That is okay. But why you entangle yourself in more and more relationship which is not necessary? If you are really serious about God. If you are not serious about God, then this discussion doesn't arise at all. There is no point in having a conversation. But if you say you are serious about realizing God, if you say that is the goal of your life, that is the purpose of your life because of which you are here, then you better have your thought, word and action in line. Then don't say one thing, think another thing and do another thing. That's not allowed. So don't compare. I always told, in spiritual path you should not compare with others. You don't know what past they have come with. What is their karma, what is their Purva Janma Krutaris. You don't know. So don't compare. They are living like this. Why can't I also live like this? Somebody in between started. Swami, I would like to go out and work and earn a lot of money and donate to the institution. I said, where did this idea come to you from? He said, so many devotees come from other places. They donate all this money because of which you are able to run the institution. I feel that I am not able to do anything like that. Let me go. Then I told him, by the time you earn the money that they earned, it will be 50 years. All your hair would be gone, your life would be over, your vitality is over. After that also you don't know whether you will make that kind of money to give me. Here I am giving you the opportunity right away to serve the mission. Be a part of the mission now, here. Not after 50 years when you earn enough. And you never know that after 50 years you will return also. Because the world might have sucked you on like the man with the cowpin cloth. You never know. So I keep telling them, reminding them. But what happens when they look at these people coming from abroad, outside, having families, having some wealth and comforts, youngsters get distracted. They think, why can't we have that also and God also? Both. But I tell them, no, it is not true. They are giving up everything, so they are here. They appear to be worldly, but they are not inside. They have dropped everything off, and that is far more difficult to drop things when you already have them than not having them. A beggar can always get up and walk away anywhere because he has no address, no wealth, no position, no power, no commitments. But giving up all that halfway through and shifting is far more difficult. But some people get very foolishly attracted to that, whatever, tinsel and the shine, glitter, thinking that is how the life should be. Enjoy that, one leg there, one leg here, and enjoy. No, two legs on two horses will never take you anywhere. You have to be on the same horse, in the same boat. So that I keep telling people that if you are very clear you want God, then be wanting God only. And God will provide you what is required. Your food will be taken care of, clothes will be taken care of, job is taken care of, some decent work to do every day, some fulfillment in life. Also your responsibilities of your earlier relationships, which you can't abandon. It's not right. All that will be looked after. But only so much as it is needed. You won't be able to accumulate some wealth. Why should you? My question is that. That is not the idea why we are here, right? So why should you even? So think of yourself like that. And my worry is that in the recent times, because of this continuous growth of the organization, with most of the people who are working in various positions are people who have worked outside and come, and naturally they will come because these organizations require people with certain qualifications. If you have to be a professor, you should have a 25 years or 20 years of experience. If you have to be a head head of department, you should have worked somewhere. The 25 years of experience, where do you get from inside? So you have to have people from outside. But my appeal to the people who come from both sides, those who come from outside and join the institutions, they also follow the spiritual path, then they'll become inspiration for them. Otherwise, they will end up confusing. You're doing disservice by being here just for a job and not taking interest in spiritual progress. That is very wrong. But I have no choice because we are building institutions. We have to recruit people who had already married, settled, or done and been there and done that kind of people. But when they join also here, we have to increase their spiritual quotient. That's why I tell staff study circles should be there. They should also discuss spirituality. They should also realize what is important in life, what is not. They might have come for a job, but eventually from employment, they should grow to enlightenment. And our students and staff who are homegrown, they should understand that their priority was God, always was God. And if it was God, where is this confusion arising in your head from? Where is this desire coming from? Where is this bondage coming from? It shouldn't come. It means you were never clear in the beginning. You were giving the same answer as taught, those standard answers that are taught to the students. Swami asks, who are you? I am God. Who am I? You are God. Like that. Standard answers. They don't understand anything. That's what I was telling the joke of one boy was there. When he asked, Swami asked, where is your brother? He says, my brother is there. He said, no, all are my brothers, you should say. Oh yes, Swami, all are my brothers. Next day, Swami called, where is your sister? He says, my sister is sitting there. Hey, I told you, all are my sisters. Very good. Next day, Swami came jokingly, where is your wife? So, knowledge, theoretical knowledge. Idea is that we are here thinking one thing, saying another thing, don't understand what we are doing. Don't be like that. Don't be like that is what I'm saying. If you are like that, then you will not progress and you will not go anywhere, not too far on this journey. And that is why dropouts happen. When syllabus becomes tough, students who are not capable of working hard or don't want to work hard, they drop out of the school. Likewise, when this spirituality gets steeper, when you're reaching the peak, climb is steeper, difficult, people drop out. And I'm seeing that trend. I'm seeing that trend in our own students who are getting very quickly distracted and now they're feeling, oh, why can't we also have a life like that? Why can't we also have cars and homes and wife and children and yet be a service to the mission? That is one idea. The second idea that has got inside, let me go out, earn a lot of money and donate money. I'll get all the respect also here. I'll serve. At the same time, I'll enjoy the world. You think it is that easy? It is that easy? It is that straight? No, ask these people what they have gone through to be. But as I said, for them, this was God's will. For you, there is something else which is God's will. Just follow God's will, whatever He says. If I had not gone out and worked in a banking or financial company, I wouldn't be able to manage these millions, tens of hundreds of millions of dollars worth transactions. I wouldn't even understand what is a dollar. I wouldn't know what is an exchange rate. I wouldn't know what does it mean to put deposits or manage cash flows or do budgets and plan the management of all these institutions. It wouldn't be possible. That MBA and that experience which Bhagavan told you should have, whether I liked it or not, I nevertheless went. Why? Because He told. There is no second thoughts about it. There was no idea of I want to do something. Because of which that is helping today. So it was meant to be that way. Similarly, at the peak of the career when everybody said, don't leave, this is where you are going to grow. Now onwards your game starts. I said, no, I don't want to be in this game. This is not my field. I want to go back. So nothing dissuaded. Nobody could dissuade me from pursuing this path. Why? Because clarity. Clarity and priority. Very clear in my head from the day one. That clarity should be there in all our students as well. The third shloka, it says, again continuing in the same tone, Tada bandho yada chittam saktam kaswapi drishtishu tada moksho yada chittam asaktam sarva drishtishu. All that we see, hear, taste, smell and touch. Drishtishu means what we see, but it simply can be extrapolated to all the sensory perceptions and experiences. What happens? Tada bandho. Bondage is when yada chittam, the heart or the mind, Saktam kasvapi drishtishu. In any of the things that are seen, if the mind gets entangled, you get bondage. Means not just the scene, here, whatever you can hear, taste, smell, or touch. In any of these things, when your mind gets attached, you get bound. And what is the reverse of it? Tada moksha yada chittam asaktam sarvadrishtishu. When your mind becomes unattached to all that you see, you are free. You are free. See, problem is not with seeing. Problem is getting attached to what we see. Problem is not in the world. Problem is getting attached to the world. World will be world. You cannot wish it away. But the problem is when you get attached to the world. How? Through your senses. What you see, hear, taste, smell or touch. Now you are very attached to it. You can't give up. I want to eat it again. I want to go to that place again. I want to meet that person again. I want to see that place again. That attachment. Once you see, it's not a problem. Once you want to see it twice, then there is a problem. That is why I think it was Aristotle who said, the cure for love at first sight is to have a second look. Then you will know how many problems are there in that person. First sight, everybody, wow. Take a second look and you know how many faults are there. Then you don't want to marry the same person. Unfortunately, most people marry off at love at first sight, and later when they have the second sight, they realize, oh, there are so many problems. Love is blind, they say, and this is the reason. That's why we fall in love. Because we are blinded by the attachment. So seeing is not a problem. Seeing again and again is a problem. Tasting is not a problem. Tasting again and again is a problem. Whatever we receive or perceive through our senses, developing a desire and attachment to experience it again and again is the problem. So he's saying that whenever such a thing happens, when you get attached to the sensory perceptions, you get bound. Remember the 5 things. Kuranga, Matanga, Matanga, Meena, Bhringa. 5 animals with 5 senses. They get bound. The deer by the sense of hearing. The hunter makes rustling sound of the leaves and the deer gets attracted, goes there, gets caught in the net. Elephant, touch. Female elephant goes, touches the male elephant. Male elephant loses all his discrimination, follows the female all the way to the trap. The trained female. Bhringa, the bee, the taste of smell, the sense of smell. It wants to smell the fragrance of the flowers, goes and falls in it, gets captured. Patanga, the firefly or the moth. It sees the flame and wants to experience the light because of the perception, eye, sight, it goes and falls and burns itself. And fish, to taste that worm hanging on the hook, fish hook, it goes and tries to eat it and gets caught. Because of one sense, they all are destroyed. So he says, Nara panchab biranchita kim, Adi Shankaracharya says, man is bound by all the 5 senses. How much dangerous it is for a man to survive when these animals die because of just one of the sense perception. So that is the idea. World will be world, you cannot change, but you should not have the temptation to look at it twice. Should see and walk away. Why all this window shopping? They put all these nice mannequins outside the shops with nice dresses. What is their attempt? Because they know that once we see it and we get attracted, we will enter the shop. Forget about now window shopping. Scrolling, all these online marketing, online commerce, e-commerce, such a dangerous trend. People just see that, get attracted. And have you seen, if you're watching anything online, be it on your Instagram, Facebook, if you keep that screen like that for more than 3 to 4 seconds, it will pick it up that you are watching this. And then it will keep throwing the same advertisement, same things again and again. Because once I tried this, and I saw within no time, all the things which are coming are suggestive of the same type of product. Suppose I wanted to buy a shoe. So I saw an advertisement of the shoe. I just got stuck there for a moment and then I scrolled off. But then the shoe advertisement started coming again and again. Every 5th or 6th post, there is a shoe advertisement. Because the people who are writing those algorithms, they know that we are caught by our senses. Once they get our attention, they start bombarding us with the same thing again and again so that we get attracted. And that's why I say, see once, no problem. See again, problem. Hear once, no problem. Hear again, problem. Touch once, no problem. Again and again, want to problem. Taste once, no problem. Again you want to taste, then you have got caught. So that is the bandha of ours. We wanted to experience the world, and that is why we get pulled into it. And once we get sucked into it, there is nothing that we can do. We are helpless. It's so powerful. Maya is so powerful. That's why I say Indriyani Paranyahu. Indriya Paramanaha. Indriyas are very powerful. Indriyani Paranyahu is said that Indriyas are very, very strong. Why? Because that's how they have been created. But mind is stronger than Indriyas if you can think right. And discrimination is stronger than mind if you can discriminate right. And Atman, which is the ultimate self, is stronger than everything else. Use the strength of your Atman. Uddhared Atman Atmanam, which is use the strength of the Atman. Don't fall for the senses and the mind. How many people have gone and destroyed themselves because they could not just control their senses? They wanted to go on experiencing the joy of senses. That is why earlier also we have done Dhyayato Vishayan Punsa. You keep thinking about something again and again. Sangasteshu pajayate. You develop attachment. Sangad sanjayate kamaha. From the attachment comes the desire to have it. Kamat krodho bijayate. From the desire comes anger because you cannot fulfill the desire. Krodhat bhavati sammohaha. Once you are angry, you are deluded. You can't think right from wrong. Sammohat smriti vibhramaha. Then your discrimination is lost. Your memory is lost. Smriti vibhrat buddhi nasho. Then your intelligence is destroyed because you don't have a memory of what is right, what is wrong. And buddhi nashat pranashyati. Once your intelligence is destroyed, you are destroyed. These are the 8 steps of destruction that Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita. Why these advertisement companies are so strong? Every few seconds they keep throwing up. You think they are trying to be nice to you? No, they are just trying to make money on you. And they know your weakness that you will again and again visit. Many children are there. They go to unnecessary sites, websites, entertainment websites or other kinds. Once they go there, all your details are captured. You don't realize it. That's why I'm very particular. I told internet has to be very carefully used. Because once you visit any website, all your data is captured. And now they know where you are and what you are doing and which other website you are visiting and what other things you are purchasing, where all you are going. They know all your details. So they track you now. Now you have become bound to them. And then they keep throwing the similar things so that you keep getting attracted by that and waste your time. At some point in time, I remember we had given tabs, these tablets. There was no such thing in the institution till then. But the PUC students told, we also want to study the way others study, digital, this, that. So like an emotional father, I went and bought tabs for all the students in PUC. I loaded a lot of content and told them you should do like that. Then one fellow was very clever. I think teachers also had the tab, but teachers were not very tech savvy. So they would have goofed up something and the password got logged. So this fellow who knew, he told, sir, I'll help you with your password. And he helped the password and remembers the password of the teacher now. And the teacher did not think that fellow is such a criminal that he will remember and misuse it. He was innocently using his whatever pad. And in the night, this fellow is watching movies all the time. Morning, he'll be red-eyed. Can't stay awake in the classes, can't behave. This was noticed. Then slowly it was found out. Then we dug and found out that he's always watching movies in the night on the tab. But he doesn't have the internet connection because students' internet connection is restricted. They can only get education material. They can't go to entertainment sites. How did he manage? Then we went and dug and found the IP addresses and found that he's using the teacher's password. And teacher is not even aware. And the student is using. And then we got, every night he has been downloading movies and watching. Misuse of a resource of the institution. That is one sin. 2, taking the teacher's password and not telling the teacher and using it, another sin. 3rd, being a student, Vidyarthi, you're not supposed to be Sukharthi, you're supposed to work for Vidya. That is also gone. They are doing. Recently, another thing, our students, some of them, happily they used internet connection and after downloading the things, they put Shiva's picture icons on top so that nobody will know what is behind. People will think it is Shiva Bhajan. Criminal minded. Why? Once somebody started, somebody chalta hai, this we can also do. So slowly the mind's nature is like that. It will pull you into it. Before you realize, it will just drag you into it. And helplessly, as Arjuna says, anichchanapi varshneya. Without, wanting to get involved in the world, you will get involved. Baladiva niyojita, as if it has been forced upon you, as if you could not have any control, resistance to it. It pulls you so fast, such fast. That is the problem. Why? I always tell, yes, if you've seen something once, if you want to stay detached, don't see it again. Just walk away. Just walk away, leave the place. If you do not want to get entangled. Yes, good things, same thing applies to good things, spiritual things. See it again and again, hear it again and again. Why? Because that is how you develop strong affinity for God. Whereas when it comes to worldly things, even if by chance you have seen it once, once I was traveling in Shimoga, that was in the early years. I was in the car and there was, these were like 2012, 13, something like that. And we were going towards the hotel, there was a big movie poster, newly released movie. Just out of curiosity, I turned my head to see what was the poster about. Immediately in my head, I heard Bhagwan's voice, don't see. Look away. Because if you keep seeing that, then you will start saying, I don't know what is the story, I don't know what is the... Slowly, interest will start getting increased. That interest will lead you to following it up. So he immediately said, don't see. Because he was very clear that if you see it for a longer than that 5 seconds, it will become, your weakness now. So yes, can you close your eyes and walk around? No. But the idea is that you see it once, you see it only once. The moment you try to see it twice, you have been bound. But if you see it once and walk away, you are free. But you try to see it twice, you get bound. So that is what he is saying. That if you are in this world and get attached to the sense perceptions, then you are going to get bound. And for that sake, you will keep repeating this mistake over and over and over again. And before you realize, you are already a habitual offender. And eventually a criminal, because the mind will drag you towards that. Its job is not to let you realize God, right? As Swami Chinmayananda says, everything in this world is created to take man away from God, not take man towards God. For an ordinary man, Jnani will see God in everything, so he has no problem. For an Ajnani, everything has been created to take man away from God, to distract man from his original path. You would see, you people play, that dahi handi, you climb up during Krishnashtami and break the pot which has curds in it, right? What do you do when somebody is trying to achieve it? Everybody is trying to distract him. Isn't it? Everybody is throwing water, the opposite team people. They're throwing water, shouting slogans, distracting him by making noise. But he is focused. He has to go and break that pot. Only then he wins. So they make that whatever pyramid and then climb and break the pot. He's very consistent. He's very focused. Like that we have to be in this world. Razor's edge I mentioned yesterday. If you're not focused, you'll fall. Distractions will be there. Even sledging happens in sports. You see in cricket, Sunilji was telling. Sledging happens. When you're about to do, just bowler will pass a comment when you're about to bat to just disturb your peace of mind. And once you start paying attention to it and starts ringing in your head again and again, you will lose the focus and make a mistake. That's why anything that you are tempted to see twice, run away. Because that is the beginning of your bondage to that thing. So don't follow Aristotle in these matters. Go have a second look. No. Don't have the second look. Just walk away. That is the best way to redeem yourself. I think we are done. One last shloka is there. In the same tone, it's on page number 20. It says, Yada naham tada moksho, yada aham bandhanam tada, matveti helaya kinchin ma grihan vimunchama. Beautiful shloka. Again, one of my favorites says, Yada naham tada moksho. When there is no sense of me, I, that is liberation. But where there is sense of I am, or I am so and so, and therefore these things belong to me, that is where the bondage is. This idea of identification with the body that I am so and so is the bondage, and disidentification is freedom. What do you do? Matveti helaya. Matva iti. Knowing this, helaya, playfully, joyfully, easily. The Jnani does what? Kinchin ma grihan vimunchama. The Jnani does not need to accept something or reject something. The whole life is ragadvesha, I said. We run towards things that we like and we run away from things that we don't like. The whole life is spent in that only. Running towards and running away from things. So he says that running away or running towards both don't exist for whom? Who has no sense of ego. Now I told you, if you look at one thing, just look at it once and go away. If you look at it twice, you get stuck. That's for the Ajnani. For the Jnani, he sees everything and everything is okay. Why? He has no ego identity. He does not identify himself with the body and the senses. Once he does not bring anything in front of him, it doesn't attract him at all. It doesn't distract him at all. So Jnani is okay. He is telling what is a Jnani then, How does a Jnani live in this world? Can he keep avoiding everybody, keep avoiding everything? No, he has to function in the world. He has to deal with people, situations and things. Then how does a Jnani go about? Playfully he goes about it. Helaya, khelati type. Just enjoys. Khelato bhoga leelaya, it was said earlier. He enjoys, rejoices, he plays along. He plays along, doesn't get entangled, doesn't get affected by it. He plays along. Because he has no attraction for such things. He has realized the self. If he has not realized the self, he is stuck in the body, then body gets attracted to things. Because body wants to fulfill its sense gratification. Or mind wants to fulfill its ideas and desires. But the self has no such things. So such a person, even in the middle of all the distractions, he is unaffected. Bhoga ratova, yoga ratova, sangha ratova, sangha vihinaha. Yasya brahmani ramate chittam, nandati nandati nandatyeva. In bhoga, in yoga, in sangha or asangha, such a person who is absorbed in the self is always rejoicing. For him there is no attraction. What can you attract him towards? That is the idea, that such a person becomes free. Like I always tell, play a game, not for winning and losing, for the joy of it. Sportsman spirit is that. Play for the joy of it, not to defeat somebody or not to win. Just for the joy of it. The Jnani is like playful in this world. He just plays along. Good things happen, he plays along. Bad things happen, he plays along without getting entangled into any of these things. Pandit Madan Mohan Malaviya was there, He built the Banaras Hindu University. I mentioned the story over here. I heard it from somebody, some disciple of his, who said Madan Mohan Malaviya ji went to build Banaras Hindu University when? In British times. It's 100-year-old university, 100 and some year old. Imagine at that time, British people would allow you to build a Hindu university in India. Very difficult. Yet he was such a great man, he went about doing it. So he wanted to collect donations because there was no money. So he went all the way to the Nizam of Hyderabad, who was the richest person on earth, and asked him for donation. So when he reached his court and asked that I want to build a Hindu university and you Nizam should give me some donation. Imagine asking a Muslim king to give donation for a Hindu university. Nizam removed his chappal and threw at him out of anger. Now Malaviya ji is such a great personality, such a learned one. He was treated so badly, but he caught that chappal, put it in his bag, said thank you and walked away. Went to the square, Charminar Square, and said this is Nizam's chappal, I am auctioning. And people bought it because they thought it's something that they can keep. And that's how he got some money and went back. He had no problem with the insult because he is not identifying himself with this idea that I am such a great Mahamana Madan Mohan Malaviya. How did this Nizam treat me so badly? That's why I tell, if you really want to test your spiritual stamina, do fundraising. I have done that and my humility has been tested to the hilt. When people never gave any donation but gave me a big discourse saying how foolish I was to run things for free, that this is not sustainable, that I should take their piece of advice and do something more practical and logical. I did not know how to get up and go away because I cannot dishonor them. They are billionaires, rich people. Especially in America, I get this advice very frequently. Our devotees, out of their desperation to raise funds, they take me to all these places. They make me sit in front of these people and they think that these people's heart will melt by my discourse on wisdom of self and charity. No, they are hardened stones. They cannot melt with this because their only desire in life is to make money. So to tell them to donate is not going to happen. But they think just because they have money, they can donate. No. I always tell they have money because they have never donated. If they were donating, they also wouldn't have money. But they are not of that nature. Some people say, why rich people are not donating? I said, that is why they are not donating, because they want to be rich. If they start donating, they'll... Recently I asked somebody asked, not me directly, one person had come, he's a billionaire. So our man, one of my friends in the ashram, they went and asked, what is the reason why these billionaires in Bangalore do not donate money? They always hold on to their wealth. They can do so much. The man said, because they all have come from very small backgrounds, middle class backgrounds. And even though they have billions, they don't feel that they own it. They don't feel that that is with them. They feel that they will lose it any time because their origins were very, very poor. See, a king is very charitable because he was a king always. His father was a king, grandfather was a king, great-grandfather was a king, so they always were used to that wealth, and so also charity. But these first-time kings who have become first-time billionaires, they cannot understand this idea. They feel very insecure if they have to give anything away, because they've come from such small backgrounds, that their heart is not like that. That's why I noticed yesterday also that Give India was telling Indians don't give. The charity in India is very poor. Though we have such great scriptures, Advaitic scriptures, Upanishads, and Dana is a part and parcel of our culture, yet Indians don't give, because they're very attached to it. And they feel afraid that if they give away, they'll become the poor, the same poor who started his journey 40 years ago. So they don't want to go back to that status again. So that is the reason why most of them are very tight-fisted. Abroad also people give, but then, as I said, they give with logic. They don't give with the heart. They say, you tell me how will you sustain this institution? How will you generate revenue? How much patients you will charge? How many students can pay the fee? How will you give me a sustainability, financial sustainability model? I said, there is no model for me. We are doing free because that is the purpose. Whoever needs our help, we must help them without thinking about what we can get out of it. They say, oh, this doesn't work. This is not the model. So they think they're throwing the money into a bottomless pit, because of which their money, whatever they given also will be spent and nothing will come out of it. So they don't want to give. So I'm stuck on both the sides. The ones who give, they want to give with a logic behind it. And the ones who have, they don't want to give in India. So abroad people want a logic. Indian people don't want to give. So where do charities go? It is because of all wrong identification that wealth is what matters in life, or positions and power matters. Because wrong identification with the body and the senses and this ego identity. And to maintain that ego identity, they have to maintain their wealth, position, power. This is the problem in the world. Why all the greed? Why all the conflicts? Because everybody is identifying themselves, the body and the mind. They're attached to the senses and the sense perceptions. They cannot think of anything beyond that. Because whatever they experience with their senses, they believe it to be true. So he says, when there is naham, there is no ahankara. Ahankara is not just the individual ego. This identification with the body is not there. That's when moksha happens. And where yada aham, tada bandha, he says, when there is ahankara, that I am the body and this body needs to be preserved and protected, and all these relations of the body have to be taken care of, and all that this body has earned and accumulated and amassed must be protected. These ideas don't allow people to be themselves, the real self. So he says, when you give that up, you become free. So how does a jnani live? He deals with the world playfully, like children play. They don't realize, no, they'll fight. Children come, they fight, and the parents get involved in the fight. Next day children become friends and play again, but the parents are still fighting. They stop talking to each other. That used to happen when we were small. We will play with the other children in the colony, fight, and that day we'll go and complain to our mother, he bet me here, that fellow shouted at me, said this. Then mother will start fighting with each other. How dare your son say this to me? Next day onward, those mothers who are good friends are no more friends, but the children come back again to play. For them everything is playful. The jnani doesn't take things to his heart. If I started taking things to my heart with what people said and did, we wouldn't have grown this far. Let it be. They don't know, they are children. In the path of jnana, all people, the ajnanis, have to be treated like children. Balam, children. That is why Narayan Bhatt and Narsimurti used to go raising funds in the beginning. This is 50 years ago. Narayan Bhatt would come every month, 3 days to Chikbalapur. And he'll tell Narsimurti, I'll be with you for 3 days, take me wherever you want. I will go to any home, wherever you take me, to request for funds for building the institution. But 3 days in a month is all that I can give. I cannot give you any money to build. But I can give you my 3 days of time every month. So our Narsimurti ji would have planned some appointments with merchants and shopkeepers and business owners in Chikbalapur. So it so happened that on one day, they went to a particular house. And earlier, what our Narayan Bhatt used to do is to keep a Vagdan Patrika. So somebody says, I'll give you 100 rupees next month. This month I don't have money. He will immediately write down Vagdan Patrika, such and such person is committed to give 100 rupees next month. And he will give one receipt to him, one receipt he'll keep with himself. So next month he can go promptly to his home and remind him, see, you told last month 100 rupees you have to give. So I am here to collect the 100 rupees. So our Narsimurti would have collected some commitment like that and took Narayan Bhatt for collecting the money. That man was talking about everything other than giving the money. He gave them food to, snacks to eat, some bondas. Our Narsimurti is not eating. Why? He's angry that this man is not giving money and fooling around. Narayan Bhatt is patient. He is he's being kind to, nice to people and talking to them nicely. At the end of it, the man became so restless, the man who was supposed to donate, he almost in a strong tone said, you people are coming to me as if I own this to you, as if I am indebted to you. He said in a very harsh tone. That hurt Narasimha Murthy ji very badly. He said, how could he say this? He only told, he committed, he'll give, and now he's talking as if we are forcing him and things like that. So he didn't eat any of those bondas, didn't eat nothing. He was grumpy. Narayan Bhatt ate and drank, and after that, when they walked out, our Narasimha Murthy sir was, he's written in his Divyakapashya, this much face. So Narayan Bhatt asked, what happened, Murthy? Why are you like this? He said, look at how he has treated us. Still you are eating all bondas. Then Narayan Bhatt said, in the spiritual path, we have to treat everybody as a child. They are children. Will you fight with children? When we play with children, let's say we are playing a game of carom. The child wants to win. You lose on purpose, isn't it? Do you feel hurt and insulted? No. Why you will feel? Because that's a child. What is there to fight with a child? Why take it to our ego or take it to our heart? It's a playful thing. Let us play. Let the child enjoy. Go home. That is how a Jnani should look at the world. That is why the Jnani has the ability to forgive people. Love gives and forgives, they say. This is why love gives and forgives. Okay, it treats others as children. What to fight with children? If some child shouts at you, why should you go back and fight with the child? There is a child, what does he know? You leave it at that, right? Bachcha hai, chhod do, bechara. That's what we tell others. Yo, is a papam, small child, leave him. Like that, even if they're grown up 80-year-old and they have not grown spiritually, they are children only. They have to be treated like that. They will make mistakes. They will say things which are not nice. They will do things which are not nice. You have to look at them as children and say, let it be. You don't take it to your heart and start suffering. Why? Because you are a Jnani. You have no ahankara. Ahankara is there only, there is a problem. There is no ahankara. So now how to get rid of this ahankara? So I have a path. Na aham to dasoham to naham to soham. Aham means ahankara, I am so and so. Dasoham means I am only a servant of God. How can servant have any ego? Can't. Then from that no ego of the servant, you will become egoless, naham. But when you become empty, then God will fill you. And that is called soham. That is the ultimate stage. So we'll listen to a bachana, that is Purandara Dasa's Kirtana. It's called Dasoha. Dasoha Madikovaya. Make me your servant. That is what Purandara Dasa is singing.
ದಾಸನ ಮಾಡಿಕೋಯನ್ನ ದಾಸನ ಮಾಡಿಕೋಯನ್ನ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಸಾಸಿರ ನಾಮದ ವೆಂಕಟರಮಣ ದಾಸನ ಮಾಡಿಕೋಯನ್ನ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಸಾಸಿರ ನಾಮದ ವೆಂಕಟರಮಣ ದಾಸನ ಮಾಡಿಕೋಯನ್ನ ದುರ್ಬುದ್ಧಿಗಳನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಬಿಡಿಸೋ ದುರ್ಬುದ್ಧಿಗಳನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಬಿಡಿಸೋ ನಿನ್ನ ಕರುಣ ಕವಚವೆನ್ನ ಹರಣಕ್ಕೆ ತೊಡಿಸೋ ದುರ್ಬುದ್ಧಿಗಳನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಬಿಡಿಸೋ ನಿನ್ನ ಕರುಣ ಕವಚವೆನ್ನ ಹರಣಕ್ಕೆ ತೋಡಿಸೋ ಚರಣ ಸೇವೆಯನಗೆ ಕೊಡಿಸೋ ಚರಣ ಸೇವೆಯನಗೆ ಕೊಡಿಸೋ ಅಭಯ ಕರ ಪುಷ್ಪವಾಯನ ಶಿರದಲ್ಲಿ ಮೂಡಿಸೋ ಚರಣ ಸೇವೆಯನಗೆ ಕೊಡಿಸೋ ಅಭಯ ಕರ ಪುಷ್ಪವಾಯನ ಶಿರದಲ್ಲಿ ಮೂಡಿಸೋ ದಾಸನ ಮಾಡಿಕೊ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಸಾಸಿರ ನಾಮದ ವೆಂಕಟರಮಣ ದಾಸನ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಯನ ದೃಢ ಭಕ್ತಿ ನಿನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಡಿ ದೃಢ ಭಕ್ತಿ ನಿನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಡಿ ನಾ ಅಡಿಗೆರಗುವೆನಯ್ಯ ಅನುದಿನ ಪಾಡಿ ದೃಢ ಭಕ್ತಿ ನಿನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಡಿ ನಾ ಅಡಿಗೆರಗುವೆನಯ್ಯ ಅನುದಿನ ಪಾಡಿ ಕಡೆಗಣ್ಣನೆ ಕೆನ್ನ ನೋಡಿ ಕಡೆಗಣ್ಣನೆ ಕೆನ್ನ ನೋಡಿ ಬಿಡುವೆ ಕೊಡು ನಿನ್ನ ಧ್ಯಾನವ ಮನ ಶುಚಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಕಡೆಗಣ್ಣನೆ ಕೆನ್ನ ನೋಡಿ ಬಿಡುವೆ ದಾನವ ಮನ ಶುಚಿ ಮಾಡಿ ದಾಸನ ಮಾಡಿಕೊ ಎನ್ನ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಸಾಸಿರ ನಾಮದ ವೆಂಕಟರಮಣ ದಾಸನ ಮಾಡಿಕೊ ಎನ್ನ ಮೊರೆ ಹೊಕ್ಕವರ ಕಾವ ಬಿರುದು ಮೊರೆ ಹೊಕ್ಕವರ ಕಾವ ಬಿರುದು ಎನ್ನ ಮರೆಯದೆ ರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಮಾಡಯ್ಯ ಪೊರೆದು ಮೊರೆ ಹೊಕ್ಕವರ ಕಾವ ಬಿರುದು ಎನ್ನ ಮರೆಯದೆ ರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಮಾಡಯ್ಯ ಪೊರೆದು ದುರಿತಗಳೆಲ್ಲವ ತರಿದು ದುರಿತಗಳೆಲ್ಲವ ತರಿದು ಸಿರಿ ಪುರಂದರ ವಿಠಲ ಎನ್ನನು ಪೊರೆದು ದುರಿತಗಳೆಲ್ಲವ ತರಿದು ಸಿರಿ ಪುರಂದರ ವಿಠಲ ಎನ್ನನು ಪೊರೆದು सर्वसुगुणसिन्धवे सकलसुजनबन्धवे सर्वसुगुणसिन्धवे सकलसुजनबन्धवे गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् दीनदुःखितपोषकाय दानधर्मप्रेरकाय दीनदुःखितपोषकाय दानधर्मप्रेरकाय सर्वलोकहितरताय सर्वमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् वेदनादवर्धकाय विश्वशान्तिस्थापकाय वेदनादवर्धकाय विश्वशान्तिस्थापकाय ब्रह्मज्ञानबोधकाय दिव्यमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् सदय हृदयराजिताय सुमन सदन शङ्कराय सदय हृदयराजिताय सुमन सदन शङ्कराय शरणमुक्तिकारणाय मोक्षमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् सत्यसायिनः प्रियाय सत्यप्रेमविग्रहाय सत्यसायिनः प्रियाय सत्यप्रेमविग्रहाय नित्यशुद्धनिर्मलाय नित्यमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय नित्यमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् ॐ जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी सत्य साई हरे भक्तजना संरक्षक भक्तजना संरक्षक पति महेश्वर ॐ जय जगदीश हरे शशिवदना श्रीकरा सर्वा प्राणपते स्वामी सर्वा प्राणपते आश्रितकल्पलतिका आश्रितकल्पलतिका आवबान्धवा ॐ जय जगदीश हरे मातृपिता गुरुदेवं मर्यन्तयुनीवे स्वामी मर्यन्तयुनीवे नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा नागेन्द्राशरण ॐ जय जगदीश हरे ओंकार रूप ओजस्वी गुरु साई महादेवा सद्गुरु साई महादेवा मंगलहारति अंदुको मंगलहारति अंदुको मंगल गिरिधारी ओम जय जगदीश हरे नारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण 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 ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण नारायण ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण नारायण ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा शांति 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 समस्त लोका सुखिनो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय। जय बोलो सद्गुरु श्री मधुसूदन साई जी की जय।